Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Storm King's Thunder, episode 24, right here at Proficiency Bonus. We are so glad that you're here to join us tonight as we continue our adventure through Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, this wonderful adventure. We are excited for tonight. It's going to be a really cool, just a really cool episode, so we're glad that you're tuning in. Just wanted to throw a couple quick shout-outs. First of all, we want to thank Team MZ for all their support of strong, small streamers just like us. You want to check them out, make sure you check them out on Twitter. Also want to throw out a huge shout out to Many-Sided Dice. You can check them out if you scroll down below underneath the video that you're watching right now on Twitch. You'll be able to see a link to their website. You need to go and check them out. They got some really cool items for D&D. A 5e Magic Compendium that just came out not too long ago is absolutely amazing. Also, we want to thank Nightshade Creations for all their support and for partnering with us. They make a lot of different various dice trays and dice towers. So if you want to check them out, I believe their website is also down right underneath the video. There's a link posted underneath our Twitch stream. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. There are a few other shout-outs I want to throw out really quick before we begin. We have some new followers this week, and I want to go ahead and throw a huge shout-out to Das Player 2. Thank you so much for following. We also got 7 Heat that jumped on board this week, and Cry Iron 734. Thank you guys so much for following us. We appreciate the support. And also a big shout out to our friend who is probably, I don't know if he's here in chat yet, but Stumpy for the 25 bits that he threw in the chat last week. So thank you so much, Stumpy. We love you. And we are excited about tonight. I'm just going to take you over so you guys can see say hi to the cast. Here we all are. You guys can say hello.
Hi.
So glad that you guys are with us tonight. Well, welcome back again for the second week in a row. We've got Sarah as Ashlyn tonight as our guest. And those of you who don't know, JJ is in an area where he does not get internet. So he's going to be there for anywhere from a month and a half to 2 months. So as he's on his hiatus, we have Sarah stepping in the meantime, and she's going to be joining our party and hanging out with them. Ashlyn and Diana have some interesting backstory going on, so it's going to make for a great addition to our already very cool campaign. And without further ado, I'm going to do just a really quick recap of episode 23. Our party has been traveling south to Hundlestone. They've been traveling with an interesting dragonborn character named Sarvin, who claims to be the king of the Frozen Far. They've also been traveling with 2 halflings that were captured along with Ashlyn by these orcs that they encountered a few episodes ago. They've been traveling to Hundlestone. Last week, they stumbled upon an area where there was a giant hole in the ground, and about 5 corpses of these large elk that they all kind of kept an eye on during the night. Nothing seemed to be stirring up, or nothing seemed to happen, but they just were aware of this situation as they came into Hundlestone. They met a rock gnome named Thwip Ironbottom, who ended up being a member of the Harpers, who was very interested in Molfin and his abilities. So as they were having a cup of tea, Ashlyn continued to hit her head off of the low door frame of the establishment. And they ended up finding Molfin. Molfin was able to successfully join this faction, the Harpers. And they made their way to the Ghastly Reindeer, which is kind of like probably the nicest inn and tavern in the small town of Hundlestone. And in the middle of the night, Molfin and Diana felt what could have been it's kind of like a small tremor or earthquake that seemed to startle them in their sleep. Kind of rolling over and not thinking much of it, falling back asleep and resting till the following morning. And that's where we'll pick up today as we jump into episode 24. So the story is told all of our heroes arise the next morning. The cold breeze still blowing outside. It looks like Molfin is getting his portents ready. Ooh, some nice rolls there, Molfin, as he gets those ready to use.
Wow.
Today feels like it would be a good day.
Excellent. You guys all awaken to the smell of seems like delicious foods and breakfasts coming from downstairs. And you also are kind of awakened to what sounds like a rowdy crowd for this early in the morning.
Ugh.
Kallista is not happy already.
Today's gonna be a crappy day.
We've got the yin and the yang right now. It's like, it's complete.
Callista's so bitter. I'm sorry.
It's like, oh, there's people down there. Oh my God.
I put my hood up even like farther down, like, here we go.
Is Lachlan still in the room with Molfin?
Did you guys room together?
I thought
There was one for the boys, one for the girls, one for Kallista.
Oh, that was right. Yes. So Diana
Diana
and Ashlyn were together, and Molfin and Lachlan. Yeah. So yeah, Lachlan's in the room with you, Molfin.
hearing the noise and seeing Lachlan in the room, I wonder what sort of trouble Diana's gotten us into today. Can't be you. You're still here.
Process of elimination.
Can you help me buckle my armor, Gramps?
Well, I'm sure I could figure this out somehow.
Poussoir is just staring at Lachlan the whole time on your shoulder. Just stares at him.
I poke him.
Every once in a while, a little tongue flick pops out in his direction.
I'll feed Cleo before we go down.
All right, yeah, Cleo. What are you feeding Cleo this morning, Kallista?
I got some elk meat.
All right, yeah, some elk meat. Yeah, just feeding it to him raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, devours that. Oh, seems.
So I can heat it up if she wants it. I'll try it like a small piece, like heat it up with my flames and see which one she prefers.
It seems like she prefers either. It doesn't really seem to affect her much. She seems really hungry this morning, so she's kind of just.
Then I'll just give it to her.
Bit. Yeah, she takes it and just
Nom, nom, nom,
nom nom. Tears it up.
So cute.
All right, Ashlyn and Diana, you both awaken in your relatively small room. They're comfortable, you know, just kind of your average inn stay. The beds weren't bad, weren't lumpy or anything like that. You don't have back problems as you wake up the next morning.
Yeah, that's important.
That is important.
Christy can vouch for that.
That's exactly it.
It sounds like a party. Do you think there's a party downstairs for us?
For us? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
A party? Hell yeah, you know? Let's go.
Okay, let's knock on everyone's door.
Oh god.
Sure! I have to ask you something though. Did you feel those tremors last night?
Nope.
Nope. Cool. I have sleep paralysis then. Let's go.
I'm sorry. I don't know what that means.
You don't know what sleep paralysis
It sounds horrible. Is it a degenerative disease?
No, it's just like you're stuck, and it's like I don't know. I'll just avoid sleeping on my back from now on. Because it
Sounds
happens.
problematic. You should get that checked out.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I am a healer. Oh my god, I'm the one who would check it out. So who's gonna check out me?
Oh no.
Ashlyn's mind is like blown right now.
Ashlyn just literally, Diana just stares at you. And she has no idea what is going on. She's
Oh my god, who does check out you? Do you check out? Are you okay?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think we should just wake everybody up, you know?
Okay, sounds good. Let's knock on everyone's doors.
Yeah. We'll knock on everybody. Let's knock on Kallista's door first.
Okay, I think she really likes me.
I think she loves us all so much.
Oh wait,
We're
what
good.
about the halflings in Sarvin? Where were they at? What did,
Ooh.
They were
They for
downstairs.
themselves.
Oh yeah, they were downstairs. They were taking care of themselves. They're fine.
They handled their own business.
Sarvin's
You know, 'cause
king. I
I'm
mean, he
sure
can
that-
handle anything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the kidnapped, imprisoned, tortured halflings had money to get food and board for themselves. You know, the orcs would have left them some coin, right?
Not
I
my
think-
problem.
No, didn't Diana gave him some money? I believe last.
Oh yeah.
Last time,
Of
yeah,
my
she gave-
entire pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, she gave him some money.
Because I felt so bad. He was like, I have 10 kids. I was like, oh, man. I'm gonna go knock on Kallista's door.
All right, Kallista, you hear it's your door.
That was a really good knock.
That was a very good knock.
I
And then
totally,
you hear
yeah, I'm really professional with my sound effects here on the stream. It's called anytime you have a knock, beat on the table.
Yeah.
Who is
What is
it?
that? A Foley artist? It took me a while to think of that. Okay, anyway.
Yes, it is Foley.
Okay.
Who is it?
It's us!
I'll go open the door.
You look through there's like the little peephole in the door, and you just see Ashlyn's face, like just like looking inside.
Closes the door.
I'll open the door.
Hey, Kallista, how'd you sleep last night? I hope you didn't have sleep paralysis.
God.
What?
You know, the thing that gets you when you can't check yourself out when you sleep. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Diana, what's she talking about?
There were tremors while I was sleeping, but nobody else seemed to feel them. So I don't know. I guess I just
Tremors.
it was a dream.
Like an earthquake or?
Yeah, like an earthquake. But it'd be weird if no one else noticed an earthquake. So
Yeah, I don't think I woke up last night. I was pretty tired.
yeah. So, Ashlyn thinks there's a party downstairs.
Don't you hear it? It sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah, I hear it.
Mm.
Do you want to go?
I guess we don't really have a choice. We have to leave somehow.
That's the spirit. That's awesome. Okay, let's go knock on the next door.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the boys. Let's go wake them up.
You go ahead. I'll go down first.
Okay, get us a table. A nice roomy one.
Sure.
Thank you!
Yep.
So Kallista makes her way heading downstairs, while Ashlyn and Diana head to the next door and begin to knock. And then the door opens up on the inside, and it's a white-scaled dragonborn who opens up. And Diana, Ashlyn, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you, Southern?
Wait, I missed that. What did you say?
She closed the door.
Close the door.
I was so proud.
Behind the door, you just hear, "Oh, that was so rude." Oh.
You door. Bye.
Orange peels, it's time to awaken. You just hear him kind of like step away from the door on the other side.
Sorry to disturb you. Wrong door. And we'll go to the next one.
Okay, you knock on the next one. Molfin and Lachlan, you hear the knocks at the door.
Gramps, they found me. It's all over.
Go and hide under the bed. I'll go see what it's about.
I hide under the bed.
Molfin's gonna walk over and, assuming the peephole is probably
Hey,
a good foot
Lock-
over his head.
Lachlan, go ahead and just for fun, make a stealth check.
Alrighty.
Okay. Ashlyn and Diana, when the door opens and you see Molfin, Your passive perception is still enough to see Lachlan. His feet are hanging out of the bottom of the bed, under the bed.
Hey, Lachlan, did your back not hurt last night? I'm confused. Wait, do you have sleep paralysis? Is that why you're under the bed?
Oh my god.
Sleep
I
paralysis.
love Ashlyn.
Young lady, what are you talking about? Sleep
Did he get
paralysis.
paralyzed and go under the bed because he felt the tremors too? It happens.
Wait,
Tremors, what tremors?
you felt tremors last evening.
No, I didn't. Diana did. Because she
I
had sleep
did.
paralysis.
Did you?
That is most peculiar, as I do not suffer from this strange paralysis, but I too noticed something in the night. I assumed it was a small
yesterday,
geological
right?
event. Lachlan, come out from under there.
Shimmy out from under the bed.
It was merely
Oh,
Diana.
hey, Locke.
And
Hey!
Hey, thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate you jumping on board with the adventure. I missed the name, but thank you so much for the follow, guys.
So, Molfin, what were you saying about?
I assumed this small rumbling I felt was a minor geological event. Is there reason to believe it's otherwise?
I mean, I don't have any other than the weird wormhole thing that we saw before, but I mean,
What-
that's like.
What are you talking about, wormhole? Where did you see a wormhole?
The big one that had all of the dead deer by it, like, and it was like huge. And I don't know if it was a worm. I just, worms live in the ground, but
Are you certain you're okay? We did not come to any wormholes recently.
fine. I'm absolutely perfectly fine, and there is.
There was a big
nothing-
hole in the ground the last time we camped, and there were a bunch of dead things by it, and we said, ew, and we stepped away from it.
Yes, see, listen to Ashlyn.
And
Any
why
lesser-
did no one think to involve me so we could investigate this and see what sort of thing this could have been?
Well, we did investigate it. Callista knows what it is, whatever it is.
She's so smart. I like her. She loves me too, I think.
She's so smart.
This is totally unacceptable, and Molfin is just going to sort of push his way between the two of them and start going to look for Kallista.
Oh, you're going to the party too?
You rude, short little man. How dare you?
As Molfin is walking out of the door, he's heading down towards the steps that lead down downstairs to where the bar area and the actual restaurant portion of this inn are located. You guys hear the door open a little bit down the hall, and these two halflings come out, and Sarvin, this white dragonborn, has all his stuff. He's like lugging his just giant backpack over both arms, and starts walking and starts heading towards everybody. Oh, well, if I wasn't already awoken, I would have definitely been up now. All this going out in the hallway, I mean, you know, the king of the frozen far needs his sleep.
We're sure you do. We just, moving along.
What is all the fuss about, anyway?
We don't know.
Earthquakes. They're a fascinating geological event, and we want to know more.
Huh. Earthquakes happen all the time here near the spine of the world.
Yeah, but just sleep paralysis?
Sleep what?
Exactly.
What is sleep paralysis?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Okay,
It's when what,
It's actually-
Diana?
Okay, so it's actually really interesting. It's when you wake up, all right, but your body isn't like awake because, like, chemically in your brain, you're like still sleeping. So you still have dreams, right? So then you're like laying there and you're frozen because your body is still sleeping, but your mind isn't. So then you wake up and you see terrible visions. And that's
Like
sleep
Xonkin's
paralysis.
dagger?
Oh my god.
Interesting. Sleep paralysis is caused by a dagger?
No,
I think
that
we
was not
cracked
the
the
takeaway.
Ashlyn, I am so confused.
Yeah, me too, generally. But let's go down the hallway.
It's a cleric thing. It's a cleric thing. Only, clerics know what it is.
I'm gonna grab Diana's hand as she's saying all this and just start skipping down the hallway with her.
Alright, I signed up to drag.
The halflings are already kind of about halfway
I
down
put
the
out my
step.
hand for Molfin.
Molfin's already down the steps, remember? He had charged that, so you're holding out your hand and nothing ever comes. It's like...
I shrug sadly and walk down the stairs alone.
Oh.
Sarvin turns around, looks behind you, and he's like, sometimes being legendary is also being lonely.
It's very wise words, Your Majesty.
Trust me, the king of the frozen forest still seeking a queen.
You'll find one or two.
Or two.
One or two.
Concubines for the win.
He kind of shoots
Welcome
you
to
a look.
Lachlan's dating service.
Findyourqueen.com.
So you
Lachlan's
guys...
running a discount sale right now on 2 half-elves.
So I wanted to just throw out a quick shout out to Das Player 2.
Das Player.
Das
Player.
Player. Thank you for jumping on and joining
Aw.
our stream tonight. We're so glad that you're with us and joining the adventure. You guys have all come down to the main floor of this area. It's kind of weird because it's kind of dug down into the stone of this mountain. The second story that you guys were staying on was kind of like almost like an addition to this stone structure, but it was made out of timbers and wood that has been kind of pitched on top to build these rooms that you guys stayed in. So the beds were all furnished with extra blankets and things like that. It wasn't very warm in these buildings, but the blankets were kind of warm throughout the night. As you get downstairs, you realize there are a ton of shield dwarves and rock gnomes, occasional humans here and there, as they're all at different tables having their breakfast. I mean, there's just everybody is just in such a delightful mood here, which is odd because they're about ready to go work in a bunch of mines, difficult work, deep into the mines of this mountain. And they're all just so happy to be here, like together, and just sharing these moments, just having, there's meats piled up on the tables, just various rolls and bread. They're all just devouring as they get prepared for their day. What would you guys like to do as you come down here? I'm going to see if I've got any really good active tavern music.
Was there a table I could find before everyone came down?
Yeah, you actually secured a table. It's probably a little too small for your party, but you feel like you guys can all kind of cram in there, and you may have to get a little bit closer than what you would normally like to, Kallista.
Yeah.
But it seems like it might seem to be the best bet.
Molfin is hunting him a guide.
She'd be like in her cloak like this, like just sitting at the table waiting.
No, yeah, Molfin, you have no problem, because it's kind of like Kallista sticks out like a sore thumb in this place. The only cloaked half-elf figure like sitting at this wooden table, just kind of like chilling out. She's already got a drink in front of her. What would you be drinking, Kallista? Besides your Rockstar energy drink.
Nom, nom, nom. Waking up.
So, what, Kallista? What would Kallista be drinking at the table?
Probably coffee.
Some coffee. Yeah, you got some nice hot brewed coffee in front of you. Probably pure coffee, like not mixed with anything.
Yeah.
Just
Nope.
Straight black coffee.
Yep.
All right. And you guys are able to. Molfin, you're the first to arrive at the table.
Kallista, what does this I hear of some massive hole you are hiding from me?
Excuse me?
Oh my god.
I was just told by Diana and Ashland and Lachlan, I believe, as well, all said that they had been advised of this massive hole in the wilderness by you.
Oh, did no one tell you about that?
No, they all said you knew about it and I should come speak with you as you were the one telling everyone.
Well, I didn't find it. I think Lachlan found it. But yeah, I went to go check it out, but it was a little bit ominous. I didn't really want to stick around for it. There was a bunch of dead elk all over the place. The hole was like 10 feet wide. There was some tracks.
Oh, tracks, so it couldn't have been a sinkhole.
No, it definitely did not look like a sinkhole. It definitely looked like someone or something had burrowed up.
That could be problematic given the tremors last evening, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, Diana told me about that this morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
I experienced them as well.
You did?
Yes.
What,
I
how
assumed it
long
was
did they
merely-
last?
Didn't seem more than but a few moments. It was middle of the night. It ended fairly quickly. I wrote it off as a minor geological event and went back to sleep, giving no knowledge of this previous encounter we had had. If this is a creature that was digging up, that is quite possible that it could have burrowed up, perhaps in the very basement of this building.
You think the tremors were coming from here?
As you guys are saying, as you said, buried up in the basement of this building, everybody else kind of approaches, and Diana's got her hand in front of her mouth with her eyes like wide.
What? Basement? What?
Okay, coffee.
Oh yes,
Vile
I pulled.
elf water.
I have my griffin on my hand. I asked the waiter with my griffin on my hand. I'm like, hey, can I get that, but with like all the cream and sugar? Thank you.
Yes,
For her.
absolutely, my dear. And the waiter runs away and goes to start working on it.
Filthy elf water.
That's tea, you idiot.
A proper educated gnome drinks tea. You strange creatures drinking that foul black liquid.
Wait, Molfin, go back. What makes you think it was in the basement?
Well, logic would dictate it would not be burrowing in through the roof. We felt it in
No,
this
I mean-
building.
Or was it?
So it was in this building? Are you sure?
We were in this building. We felt it in this building.
You could have
Just a
just been the whole
Logical
town.
assumption. Molfin's going to turn to the closest person near him. You there, citizen! Did you feel any shaking last evening?
There's a shield dwarf just kind of like turns around. He looks like he's dressed for a full day's work. Has just a bunch of food in his mouth. He's going, and he like almost spits a bunch of these meats like on top of you as he's talking. And he just turns back around and just starts eating and drinking.
Bro.
Perhaps we should ask
The barkeep.
when they return.
Yeah.
When they return.
Yeah. Good plan.
Why is everyone so happy still? Is it still a party?
I'm beginning to think they are drugged.
Okay.
Wow.
Should we get drugged too?
No.
Okay.
It is, please, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, no. Too early for getting drugged.
Way too early.
Sarvin walks up to you guys. He's chomping on like this huge like turkey leg like in his hand. He's just like chomping on it. He's like, so what now?
Sarvin,
Yes.
you remember that creature I was asking about the other day?
Oh, yes, I remember. What about it?
Do they come into populated areas?
Well, it depends on what creature it is. If it's a, like I recall, if it's happens to be a rimmer has, they usually like to hide out, keep low, and wait for their prey to come to them.
They don't happen to cause earthquakes, do they?
Well, they do burrow under the ground, and they are very large, so I'd assume if you were close enough to one that was moving underneath the ground, you might be able to feel them.
Great. Well, I don't think you're much off, Molfin.
Well, it is certainly nice to know that you decided to discuss it with this individual and not me.
You were sleeping!
What's he talking about?
He's just bitter that he's the last to know about the hole.
Oh, the hole. You didn't know about the hole? And he looks at Molfin. They told me about the hole.
Molfin, the next time I see a hole, you will be the first to know.
Well, if we are undecided what we are doing, I have a store I need to visit briefly this morning.
A store? Why do you need to go to a store?
I'm in need of supplies now that I have a little bit of coin in my pocket.
Okay.
Anything in particular?
Well,
Well, Molfin's going to go digging around a little bit in his pockets, but I still only have this broken dagger that Lachlan gave me from the Goblin Cave back near Nightstone. I've been meaning to get it replaced and was not impressed with the work in Brinchanda. I spoke with a smithy here yesterday, and he told me to come back this morning and see what he had managed to make for me.
you
I bet
also
it's gonna
have
be
Xonkin
great.
dagger.
Yes, but if I start running around using that in a battle, two of
Yeah,
you
let's
will
not-
try to kill me.
Let's not do that.
All right. I'm gonna insight him.
Sure, go ahead. And while you're doing that, I would just want to get a big shout out to Das Player 2. You probably didn't hear me the first time because you just said you just got your audio working. So we just want to welcome you to the stream. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And also, I'm sure if you asked Matthew, he would love to voice your D&D ebooks.
We could definitely do that.
So, what do my elf eyes see?
Are you being deceptive here, Molfin, or are you hiding something? What exactly are you doing here?
I'll say player knowledge-wise, because I'm not really sure how DM would like me to play this. Technically speaking, everything Molfin has said is accurate.
Okay. Yeah. So you
He's
have
going to a smithy. It's the truth, but it ain't the whole truth. So technically we'll say deception.
Go ahead and roll deception. Just you are telling the truth, but you're withholding information. So we'll call. Oh yeah, you. Yeah, he's not telling you the whole story, Diana.
Finally, I know something. Yes. All right.
You just see this like glimmer in Diana's eye as she realizes that she's got you, Molfin.
I got you now, you tiny little man. All right.
Diana, what's wrong?
What's wrong is there was a time when we were in Brinchander, and I stopped him because I saw him sneaking off, and I asked him what he was doing. And he said the same thing, he was going to go look for a dagger, but I don't know. We had a weird conversation about Xonkin's dagger. What's happening? What are you up to?
Well, if you'd like, why do you not join me on the way? You can see what I'm doing.
Then, I will.
Okay.
And at just about this point, that shield dwarf that you turned to ask about the tremors, Molfin, like just puts an arm on your shoulder randomly, has a bunch of food in his mouth, and just and then just taps you a couple times and turns around and goes back to his food.
Oh no.
I like that guy.
Can somebody get
Face
him a
is too
napkin?
crowded.
Come along, Diana. If we're going to do this, it'll take a little time for me to get there.
Fine. I order my coffee in a to-go cup, and I go.
When you ask for a to-go cup, the waiter just kind of like looks to the left and then looks to the right, and then just hands you the cup that he was originally bringing you. It's just-
No, because I'm going. And
We'll make sure she returns it.
it's
Maybe,
it's
or-
really okay. It is. It's really okay. These things get broken every day. I mean, it just happens, and then you hear just like 3 shatters in the background as he says that. It's like, and you hear a bunch of people start laughing. It's pretty rowdy in here right now.
Excuse me, sir. What's your name? I'm asking the barkeep.
The waiter. You're asking the waiter.
Yeah, the waiter.
The waiter. My name is DM Not Prepared.
My DM not prepared.
My name is Andriet.
Andrea.
Andriet.
pretty name.
Do you stay here overnight, or do you go home?
I stay here. I work long hours, but yeah, I do get to go home and see my family every once in a while. But it's...
You didn't happen to feel any tremors or earthquakes last night, did you?
You could have just probably felt Big Bruno falling out of his chair last night. It's really just like kind of like an every night thing. He just
Okay.
he has a problem. He drinks a little too much after his mining shifts.
So this Bruno character causes earthquakes?
He's a pretty big dwarf.
I gotcha.
that's just an odd thing to say. He's a pretty big dwarf.
Okay, sure. Well, that was useful.
Would you like another coffee?
I would.
Sure.
Coming right
And
up.
breakfast meats. Can we have breakfast meats?
Breakfast
Oh,
meats?
breakfast meat.
Absolutely, coming right up. The whole plate full of breakfast meats for you, young lady.
Yes! Awesome!
Mm-hmm. So, Andriet kind of walks away and hurls off. I had to look at his name again because you guys had... You always have to ask me names.
Not sorry.
Yes. Kind of runs off towards the kitchen area of the place.
It's called karma for those Canadian geese jokes.
Ah, yeah, those dang Canadian geese jokes. Ah, I knew it. Christy gets her revenge on the dungeon master. Nice.
It's just beginning.
So Molfin and Diana, you guys are headed out into the snowy morning on this kind of a cold mountainside, high elevation area of Hundlestone. And Molfin, you actually are able to lead Diana back to the small smithy residence that you visited yesterday, where there was a dwarf who really wanted to attempt this challenge that you put on him to kind of copy this blade of this dagger that you just described to him. You didn't really show him an example or anything. And you're able to make it there, and it seems as if the smoke is billowing out of the chimney of this establishment, and it seems like things are already in the works for this individual this morning, early in the morning.
Why there? Are you open, sir?
You just like yelling at the door? Okay.
No knocking.
Rap at it a couple of times and just yelling at it.
You can hear inside the pounding of a hammer on metal. You can hear the tinging of hammer on metal.
Just open the door.
You open it up, just open it up, and you kind of startle him at first, because it's a very small, kind of just maybe a simple room with a bedroom kind of attached to it, kind of place, and he is over there by his anvil, kind of working on a couple pieces of equipment. He sees you, and his eyes kind of light up as he sees you come in. Oh, you've returned. Great. He's like, oh,
Did we have good luck with our attempt?
I must show you. I'm so thrilled to show you. And he starts heading back towards like the counter area, and he starts like rummaging around. You can hear metal things like clanking off of each other underneath as he's like, you can't see him. He's just like back behind the countertop, like kind of getting all this stuff ready. I need you to do me a favor, Molfin. I need you to roll me 5. I want you to roll 5 separate D20 rolls.
Okay.
And we're going to use this as kind of like a skill challenge for our NPC to see how well you describe this blade to him.
Oh, dear God.
We're going to leave it up to fate.
Okay, and you want 5 separate, not 5d20?
Just do 1d20 and let's do them all in a row. We're going to make it like a skill challenge with a set DC that I have currently in my mind.
Okay.
Based
1.
on your descriptions last week.
Wow, that sucks.
That will be one
2.
fail. That will be a success.
That'll be a fail.
That will be a fail. That will be a success.
My God.
It's going to come down to the last one.
It's like when JJ died.
Oh no!
Let's see. Oh, look at that. 2 12s in a row. As he pulls up this this dagger, at first glance you are amazed because at your first glance it looks exactly like what you had envisioned in your mind. And he puts it back, he puts it onto the countertop and he's like, "Look."
Dear word, you've done it perfectly.
And as you
Do I
pick,
see
as
this?
you pick it up, I want you to go ahead and make an investigation check, Molfin. Diana,
Do I see this?
yeah, you see it. You're standing right there. If you want to make an investigation check too, Diana, you can. Or if you want to, if you want to say something to Molfin, you absolutely can do that too.
Apparently,
Molfin.
I see the molecules you use to build this thing.
Apparently, with a double 20 roll.
Hey.
So DOS
Molfin.
player 2 is Steven. Welcome, Steven.
Hi. Hi.
I
Molfin.
guess
we went to high school
I
together.
guess
What's up?
an old friend of Zos. That's awesome. Excellent.
So cool. Small world.
It's a small
Who
world.
randomly finds her in the stream.
That's cool. That's cool.
I know, right? Like, hi. This is my life now. Welcome.
Yes. Welcome. Zos plays Dungeons and Dragons with all of us on Friday nights, live
I think
on
you-
Twitch.
And she might be insane. I mean, Diana might be insane.
I
So-
mean, both.
So with those 2 checks that you guys rolled, Molfin, you're able to see a little bit closer, and you have a kind of, you've seen the dagger that you were trying to mimic enough to know that it's not a perfect representation. It's close, but it's not perfect, and you can tell that this dwarf is used to working with mining equipment and not necessarily weapons. So you can see some of the hammer work in the blade that wouldn't be present in the actual dagger itself, being a high, just a nice ceremonial dagger in the first place. And Zos, or Diana, you kind of got the same idea, but you may not be able to see the same detail that he's seeing with his, like he can see like the hammer marks. You can't really see that. And you haven't really inspected the dagger as much as he has to really know the look of the blade. But you know it well enough to know
Okay.
that it's not an exact replica, but it's pretty close.
Okay. Molfin.
Yes.
Molfin,
Hold on. Allow me to
whatever your
finish my
middle
transaction.
names are, Green East. What is this?
At least if you're going to use it properly. It is Molfin Zodnik Amaranthos Wispindle Green East.
I don't care. What is this?
This is the dagger I had commissioned to be made.
The dagger that looks exactly like the one that Xonkin trapped my soul in? Thanks.
It is designed to look similar. Yes.
And why?
As an insurance policy, my dear.
An insurance policy for what? That...
So, if he decides to start following and make an appearance before we are prepared to deal with him, take out said dagger, that from a distance, as you are noticing, is very similarly built. Take said dagger, proceed to throw.
like
Idiot.
a dog playing fetch?
Precisely. Now, if we can throw it to a river or off a tower, some manner that will get him further away, it will buy us time to leave.
I'm pretty sure he's magically tied to the dagger, though. Wouldn't he realize it? Wouldn't he know?
If he knew that, he'd be here right now taking a possession.
Maybe.
I guess. I thought that through the dagger he was connected and he knew something. He knew where we were because of where the dagger was.
Well, he knew where we were when we were interacting with the dagger, when myself and Kallista went into his weird shadow realm, which... Well, now that you mentioned that, I wonder if Moby could be there. Maybe we should try that again, but not right now.
No.
So, if he is to follow us, my belief is that it is only if we interact with the item. So, if we do not interact, he will go to where we last were, which was the home of a dragon.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
And
That's
in the
actually
meantime, if he shows up, hopefully this little trinket I am having made will be enough to fool him into
okay. All right. Well,
leaving us for a few moments. But as you can see, it is not an exact match because, well, this gentleman here does wonderful work. I have not shown anyone where I keep that other one hidden.
DOS player, thanks so much for the bits. We appreciate it.
Thank you, DOS
why-
player. Most appreciated.
thank you. What's up, Steven? You're the bomb. Anyways, well, why couldn't you have been transparent about this before, Molfin? Why did I have to shake you down to get some answers?
But I gave you the answers. I was having a dagger commissioned. I was
You did
attempting to
not
do it
give-
in Bryn Shander, but they made shoddy workmanship, and I was unimpressed with the location I went to. So I came here.
Molfin, you could have told the whole truth from the beginning. Dang it. It's a good plan. It's a great plan, but I don't know. I would have liked to know. I'm sure all of us would have liked to know that you were commissioning an identical dagger. Considering your family history, it would make sense to assume that maybe you weren't doing this for altruistic reasons.
Mustache and beard bristle a little bit. My family history.
I mean, Lachlan, he kind of. you
Diana,
know-
Diana's starting to dig a hole right now. She's starting to dig a hole.
This was so proud.
Lachlan is just, Lachlan and Moby is kind of weird, so we just we didn't know.
Moby was
We don't know
taken
what to
away by some religious zealot. If anyone is weird, it's somebody who believes in these other planar creatures who could just take you away like that.
Do you mean the extraplanar entities?
Yes, I lost my words. I was seeking the extraplanar entities.
They're not extraplanar entities, they are deities, and they are very real.
Show me one.
I can't just summon Ilmater. You know what? Actually, I will, in fact.
Meanwhile, the shield dwarf is just standing there behind the counter, like watching you both have this argument, like, and he slowly starts to just step backwards.
But before he does, Molfin will go in. I promised you all the silver I had in my purse. I went and had a conversation with some of my friends and came up with a little more for you. He's going to pull out 8 gold and just put 8 gold on the counter.
He kind of looks at you awkwardly, and he's like, "Well, it was quite a challenge to make this blade. I think the bill was more like 15 gold for this."
Well,
No kitty.
how much did I give him initially?
I can't even remember. What he said.
I think it was just
4.
Was it like 4 gold?
I think it was 4.
Okay.
okay. So I apologize. Let's see here. I gave you 4 last time. This is 8, so we will give you. Here's another 4.
Oh, that.
To make it 16, we'll give you 1 extra gold for your hard work.
Oh, fair. Now, you guys were saying something about a creepy dagger. What creepy dagger are you talking about? I hope you're not referring to the one that I just made you.
No,
No,
not
we
at
are
all.
not.
This is like you and I discussed. It was something we saw in Shanda from those half-hearted hacks we were discussing during my visit yesterday.
You didn't happen to get it from that black iron blades, did you?
That's where I saw it.
Ugh, black iron blades. Hideous things. Ugh! And he just like stomps off. Goes back to his iron, he sits down, he starts like angrily like hitting this like she's making a shovel right now, and he's like hitting it so hard he's distorting the spade end of it so bad like it doesn't even look like you could use it anymore. Black iron blades. And these like shards of metal go flying, like these they're still like beaming hot shards of metal as he's like slamming down on.
Diana, perhaps we should leave here before you go and proceed to show me your deity.
No. Okay, you asked for this, and I cast Thaumaturgy, or however it's pronounced.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make my eyes glow, like, completely radiantly gold. I'm gonna cause all unlocked doors and windows to fly open. And then I'm gonna create an instantaneous sound, like ominous whispers. So they're just, like, in the background, as all of this is happening, there's just, like, you know?
Oh, nice. So
All of
as
this is happening. You wanted to see God.
so the doors and windows of this place just fly open. Diana's eyes are just beaming this glowing gold as this magical energy just like swirls around her eyes. Her vestiges and just cleric robes just start to fly into the wind that is blowing through the place. She just kind of almost raises her voice a little bit, even changes the tone of it as she's like speaking this to you, Molfin. And all of a sudden the guy who's like the shield dwarf that's slamming on the anvil just like throws the hammer into the air and like dives behind the counter, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, what is going on?" just and like just things are just like falling onto the floor, like metal picks, like the mining picks and stuff are falling off of the walls and everything. Oh no, it's a dragon!
Oh.
as the shield dwarf just dives behind the counter.
What do I do? Do I roll an intimidation check or what?
You can, yes, you can roll
Against
intimidation
Molfin?
against Molfin's insight.
Let's see what I do.
Because you're
Against what?
I would say it'd be your
13.
insight, because it's not like she's really a god. She's just showing you the power of her god. So you wanted to see an actual image of, you wanted to see Ilmater. She's kind of just giving you Ilmater's power through her. So we'll see how that works out. Yes. You. Molfin,
You believe.
yeah, you're kind of, you know it's Diana, but that is not the Diana that you're used to seeing. And you can almost capture a image of Ilmater's power through her and her actions in front of you right now.
Not a word, just turns right out the door.
That's what I thought.
Out.
And then squirrels the dagger into one of the inner pockets.
Is it gone? Is it gone?
I dissipate my power, and I'm like, relax, relax. That was only the deity of charity and goodness. Have a nice day.
I think the deity of charity and goodness would have thrown a couple of gold on the counter for inconvenience.
That was so good, so good. And as the deity of charity and goodness walks out the door, you see Diana doesn't even look behind her because she can just feel his eyes on her as she walks out, and he's just looking at his smithy shop is just like almost destroyed. Like the stuff is just like lying everywhere, and he's like, oh, as he realizes he's got about a couple hours worth of work just to clean up the mess.
Oh no, I feel so bad. Okay. Oh man, can I jump back in? Like, I am so sorry. I'll come back later and I'll clean it up. I feel bad. I'll help you later. And then I pop back out. I pimp walk away.
Okay. Nice.
I'm so proud right now.
The rest of you are still kind of hanging out in the ghastly reindeer. You can see that about this time, a lot of people are starting to. A lot of the gnomes and dwarves are starting to leave for their mining shifts. So the establishment is kind of emptying out a little bit. You can see everybody's got their fill for the day, and they're setting off. Still, various people kind of like taking, kind of relaxing a little bit. Going to be that person that just rolls into work about 5 minutes late. They're those type of people, the ones that are left over. And you guys are just kind of enjoying sitting at the table. Sarvin is basically cleaned his turkey leg bone completely. Sitting with the halflings have eaten. The older halfling doesn't seem to eat as much. He's looking kind of gangly. He's not looking too good. The longer you guys go on this journey, and the longer, he's riding on the back of a horse-drawn toboggan. I mean, seriously. But Molfin and Diana haven't returned yet. Is there anything you guys wanted to be discussing while Molfin and Diana were away, destroying somebody's smithy shop?
She couldn't have destroyed it before I put all that gold on the counter, could she?
Sorry. It's got a charity and goodness and destroying shops, not robbing people.
So it's really kind of Kallista and Ashlyn and Lachlan, if there's anything that you guys wanted to
I feel like Ashlyn would went over to that shield dwarf that was full of, like, meat and, like, brought up her tray and, like, tried to out-eat him.
Oh, yes. Yes, that is excellent. So Ashlyn, like, sits down next to him. It's like you almost instantly hear Eye of the Tiger start playing as you both sit down. And like it's like you see Ashlyn's face, and then you see this dwarf's face with a piece of bacon hanging out of his mouth. It's like dun 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 dun. Why don't we have a bard in this party?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Kallista, you're doing exactly that. You're just like rubbing your chin, like, and then just face palming as this is about to take place. Go ahead and make a Constitution save, Ashlyn, as you were just powering all this food in your mouth. Let's see. I'm gonna make a roll here to see how this shield dwarf does.
Not one.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You eat him under the table.
Kallista is going to shuffle her chair as far away as possible.
You have
Kallista,
basically...
aren't you proud of me?
You see him start to get weak. You start to see him get tired. His head starts to like bob left and right as he's like just trying to shovel this bacon and pork into his mouth. And you're just like sitting there just like watching him with confidence as you continue to like... It's like watching those hot dog eating competitions.
Oh.
Where they're just like... just devouring these things. Grossest... I can't watch those.
Ugh.
It's kind of
Oh,
nasty.
yeah.
But then all of a sudden you see him like... You see the last of his... he falls completely unconscious. He just goes like this and falls into his plate and splatters down. And you were just standing there, or just like, you know, sitting there with your hands on your hips, just chewing all the food that's in your mouth.
Yo,
Grab a bit of his unfinished food.
A couple of his dwarven friends that were sitting at the table were just like, oh, like surprised at what happened. And one of them comes over and just like gives you a big high five. And just like it's like, oh, and they barely talk anything that you can understand. And Lachlan, is there anything that you would be doing during all this as you see Ashlyn eat a shield dwarf under the table?
Just like after he passed out, I grabbed a piece of his bacon and I'm just nibbling on it.
Kallista walks away when she sees that.
She first slid her chair away, and now she's completely just other side of the room. She's done.
Yeah.
And as you guys, as Kallista, you're walking across, you feel the cold breeze flow through the inn as the door opens. Some snow kind of flutters in as Diana and Molfin re-enter the inn to rejoin the party.
Did you get what you were looking for?
Yes,
Yeah.
we obtained exactly what we needed.
I converted Molfin.
So you fixed the dagger and converted Molfin?
join some bacon, it's delicious.
Hey! I see you. Good job. I love her.
All right.
But yes, I managed to obtain the dagger I needed, but I would be mindful of what you say to Diana. She
Was
Very
What?
grateful.
went a little glowy in the shop and damn near burned it down.
I look at Diana. What happened? What did he do?
Molfin
Waste
said he
all
wanted to
time.
see God, so I kinda sorta summoned some of Ilmater's power and scared him a little bit. You know, I'm gonna go back and clean up the shop though. I'm not gonna leave it.
I high five you.
I high-five you too, but I don't know why.
Ashlyn like runs up and just like gives you a huge high five. She still has like bacon like in her mouth, and she's just like
Ugh.
she's just chewing stuff, and you can't hear
This
a
is
word
better
she's
than-
saying.
Molfin's just gonna look at Lachlan. And yet, if I nearly destroyed an establishment, Kallista would be dragging me outside and giving me a new one. But when Diana nearly burns down a building and nearly murders an innocent dwarf, it's all
did
cheers and
not.
high fives.
Tall people have it easy.
This is
Oh my god.
Knowing you, Molfin, you probably said something to upset her.
Yeah. Jerk face.
Oh, I believe my only request was that she was running her mouth about something when I was trying to do a business transaction. I expressed an interest in her showing me her deity.
Well, he showed
So
up.
you asked for it.
I asked her to show me her deity, not to destroy the establishment I was giving my
Wait.
patronage to.
You really destroyed a place? Diana.
I did not destroy an establishment. I unsettled like one or two warhammers from a shelf. It wasn't like that big of a deal.
And
Molfin is being
every
dramatic.
window and every door. The poor shopkeep dove under a table you had him so terrified for his life.
Molfin is being dramatic, and I said I would go back and help fix the place.
Well, how long do you
Anyway.
plan on staying here anyway?
We should put that on our to-do list.
Lachlan, as this conversation's going on, you're kind of in the back, and you feel a little tug from behind you, and it's Sarvin, and he kind of puts an arm around your shoulder, kind of walks away from the group with you, and he's like, "So, Lachlan,
Yeah.
I know things are kind of getting intense around here," and he kind of looks back over at the party having this conversation, and
We tend to do that.
he's like,
Yeah.
"I wanted to ask you, it's maybe a day and a half's journey till we meet the intersection where we have to decide whether we are continuing to head south or head towards Fireshear. Did you have any progress talking to the girls about the baby griffins?"
Yeah, about that. Yeah. Not really going that well. I don't.
Well, we don't have much time left. It's only about a day and a half, maybe even less of a journey.
Yeah, the griffin thing may have to wait. Yeah. I think they're pretty protective.
But isn't it that they want to learn how to ride these beasts?
Yeah, but the griffins are so little. I think they're probably waiting until the griffins are a little bigger. You know? Gotta feed them a little more.
Well, maybe Darasha would have some insight to give them on how to care for them.
That's a good point.
Yes.
They can grow faster and bigger.
They may, yes.
Alright, I'll try again.
Okay, sounds great. Yes.
I'll do it.
He's like, "You are legendary, aren't you, Lachlan?"
Only in the presence of one such as your majesty.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
A true leader.
I've been called that. And he just stares off. It's kind of like the Luke Skywalker staring off into the horizon look. He just stares out.
Binary sons.
Yeah, he's not looking at anything. He's just looking off. And at that point, it's really up to you guys. Molfin took care of his business for the morning. What would you guys like to be doing at this point?
I would like to make good on my promise and actually go back to the shop and spend some time cleaning it up because I do feel pretty bad.
Okay. So Diana heads back to the shop.
I'm gonna ask her how long she's gonna be because Kallista wants to leave soon.
Ashlyn's gonna go with her to help.
Well, with
Ashley.
help, and considering, the only slight mess, maybe a few hours.
Okay, here, Diana, what I want you to do is I want you to make an athletics check with advantage because Ashlyn is helping you.
All right, cool.
Because you're going to have to lift up a lot of heavy tools and things on the shelves and kind of tidy up a little bit. He's really not excited to see you as you get there, but when he starts to see what you're doing, he seems to let it go. And it only takes you about 30 minutes as you Diana and Ashlyn kind of work together to put all the things back on the hooks and stuff that he had on those walls and those shelves and things. And he's actually so pleased that you came back to help that he gives 5 gold pieces of what Molfin paid him back. It's kind of like a refund for helping him out to put his store back together.
And they're mine.
Yeah, Molfin's not there, so you
They're mine.
Or you could give
5
some to
plus
Ashlyn, who helped you. One for you and 4 for me.
That seems fair.
1 piece for your little brother.
I split it. I give 3 to her and 2 to myself.
Oh.
So Ashlyn, you get 3 gold, and Diana, you get 2 gold. That used to be Molfin's.
So I get terrorized, robbed.
It just doesn't let up for you, Molfin. It just never does.
I'm beginning to think that this charity and goodness god has a very specific charity and goodness to Diana.
Yes. Yes.
Pretty
There's some
much.
favoritism going on.
So good. So
go.
good.
If you worship this deity, it worships you.
Sure.
Gig.
So, so you guys do a good job of tidying up the store. Meet up with the party, and you guys are kind of getting set up. You can hear. Actually, I'll get the end music out of here because we're out of the tavern now. We don't need to be hearing that. Even though I love that that Celtic little music there. I think this is the one I was using. Yeah, there we go. Like it. So you guys kind of regather your group and kind of set up your little setup with the ropes and the toboggan and everything and get things going to head out southwest of Hundlestone, continuing along 10 Trail. So what I would like you guys to do at this point as you leave, I want Molfin to roll just a straight D20, Lachlan to roll a straight D20, Diana to roll a straight D20, and then Kallista roll a straight D20 for me.
These rolls tonight, man.
Oh yeah. It's pretty good. So you guys are on the road. It's a lot of this road on this side of Hundlestone is mainly downhill. You guys are going declining out of this high elevation of these mountains, and you guys are starting to see the mountainous regions start to break up a bit as you start to see beyond it to what looks like more of a coastal region. Because you're so high, you guys can see for miles and miles at this point. It's still very
Can
icy.
Molfin keep his eyes open for any holes in the ground?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me, Molfin. Anybody who would like to roll a perception check,
I
may.
would, for sure.
I'm not paying attention at all.
Neither am I.
I'm trying to pay attention. I can't pay attention.
Molfin, you are really distracted by the morning's events. The images that Diana had projected into your brain just won't seem to leave you. And every time you try to focus, you see that Diana that's just like all of her vestments kind of flapping and the doors just like flying open. It just like kind of startles you as you try.
Cannibalistic.
Diana, you're kind of looking around. You don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. Kallista, looking around, you notice there's some animal tracks here and there in the snow. You hear the calls of what seem to be every now and then like Arctic cats in the distance.
Ooh.
But as you continue traveling, they seem to dissipate.
Do I see them?
You don't see them. You just hear them. They seem to be pretty far away.
Okay.
But you're able to pick up on them. It's kind of almost like the winter wind kind of brings the sound closer to you at times. So you guys are you're able to catch on to that. The rest of the party, they're not really paying attention to things like that. And with your connection to nature, you pick up on those kinds of sounds a little bit more than they would. You do notice, Kallista, about 2 hours pass in your journey. Up ahead, you notice that there are a few elk standing on the path, probably maybe about 150 feet away. They seem to be walking slowly as a group.
And there's no holes or anything around them?
From what you can see from this distance, no. And with your perception roll as well, Kallista, you can see that one of the elk, as it picks up its head from the group and kind of turns its head a little bit sideways to where you can see it, the antlers catch a glare from the sun. And it almost seems like the antlers of this elk are made out of gold.
I tell the party to stop.
So the horses all Kallista's horse comes to a stop, and she tells you all to.
How far away are we from this?
About 150 to 200 feet is kind of like your gauge. They're pretty far away, but Kallista, her perception roll was pretty good, and she's attuned to nature in this way. She was able to kind of see this coming before you guys.
Kallista, why have we stopped?
DOS player wants us to leave the elk alone.
Diana, how do you feel about procuring some feed and maybe some gold for our griffins?
Well, procuring feed for my baby sounds like a wonderful plan. What do we have?
Gold?
Go hunting.
Ooh, I like hunting. I got a longbow and a quarterstaff.
Hunting, like killing an animal hunting.
Like killing some more elk and getting some more meat.
Okay. I just feel so bad for them. What if they have babies? What if
Do
they
I
kill
see
them?
any babies?
You can tell. These are all. They're various ages, but none of them are little babies or anything like that. What is a baby elk?
Like a calf?
Is it a calf? Is that what they call a baby elk?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I mean, a deer is a fawn, right?
Yeah.
But an
Fawn-
elk is
Well, if it's...
Female?
I guess elk are technically deer.
yeah, I don't know.
Technically.
If anybody in chat knows, we'd love to know.
Calf for fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just
I
call
know
them
elk are
calf.
bigger.
We call it venison. It's mighty tasty.
Yeah. So, no, you don't see any, like, really little ones. I mean, they vary in size, so you're thinking some
Now,
of them
do
are older.
all of the elk have that golden flare on their...
No, just one.
Chat says elk baby is calf.
Calf.
That's what I thought.
Thank you very much, DOS player.
Yes, thanks, DOS player.
I'm going to point that one out particularly.
Okay. So, Lachlan, everybody, you guys notice the shining just reflection that's coming off of this one. It looks like a nice set of antlers coming from this one elk that is catching the glare
Cranking
from
the
from the morning
crossbow.
sun.
Molfin's hopping down and starting to walk 30 feet closer. He wants to get within range.
Okay.
Yeah, Kallista tells everyone to be quiet or stealth.
Okay. So who?
Kepler is saying, kill the elk. Elk meat is good, tastes like roast beef. Thank you much, Kepler.
Roast beef is for killing the elk.
Kaplan!
Thank you, Kepling.
Kepling.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay.
So I rolled a nat 0.
On your stealth?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then the advantage I would have gotten is a 1.
Can I pass my nat 20 to her?
No.
No.
Well, actually, technically you can, but you have to do it before they make the roll.
Oh,
unless
okay.
there's something declared.
It's not worth
Okay.
it.
Technically, I do. If you guys want to pass your nat 20 to somebody, if you have it and you want to pass it to somebody else, that's kind of like the way inspiration works too. If you have a point of inspiration and you want to inspire someone else with it, technically you're allowed to do that by the D&D 5th edition rules. So, but like
Our
I
3
said,
nat 1s were for Callista's nat 20.
Yeah, I think Kallista would have started going ahead of everybody anyway, because she wants to be shape once she gets closer.
Okay. So you guys are getting closer to these elk. Kallista, you are actually getting pretty close. What exactly would you like to do as you approach them? This is going to be more of like a theater of the mind kind of deal for these.
All right. I think I'm gonna go. Hang on, let's just pull this up here. Yeah, I'm gonna. Once I'm within 50 feet, if possible. I don't know how close I can actually get, but I want to be shape into a direwolf and just go straight at the big one.
Oh, so you're going to beast shape and just charge into him.
Oh yeah, I'm hunting.
Okay. All right. And the closer you get to him, you realize there are about a dozen of these elk, kind of just moving along. It seems like they're traveling, looking for another place to graze, and they're just on their way, trying to find the easiest path that they can make it down the side of the mountain. And all of a sudden, you just turn. Your fur starts to just grow as you start to just burst into this giant dire wolf. These pointy bone spikes that kind of emerge from your back as dire wolves just look just vicious and just terrifying. And you start to charge into these elk. Some of them just start to just run away. Go ahead and make an attack roll against the elk with the golden antlers.
Can I use my inspiration just in case?
Absolutely. With advantage. That will hit. You can go ahead and roll your damage as you charge. The elk looking back, realizing you can see this, the eyes of the elk just all of a sudden get super big as it starts to run, but it can't really grasp the ground. It's so icy and it starts to slip a bit. And you jump on it and drive your fangs into the elk.
It also has to make a DC strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay, a DC. What was the DC again?
13 strength.
13 strength. Okay, let's see how strong elks are. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see how he does. Well, unfortunately, I whispered it, so I apologize for that. But all of you on stream can see that it is a 21. So he is basically, you're latched on to its back, kind of like watching the Discovery Channel. As this dire wolf is on top of this elk, and you're gnashing your teeth into the back, like right behind its neck. And you're just...
Yeah, I'm going for a death kill, going straight for the throat.
You're going for the death kill. And the blood is just starting to run out of this elk and just stain its brown fur. But it is still up, surprisingly. And it starts...
Can Ashlyn use her long... Almost hit Kallista.
What I'm going to do is... the next person to go, since they rolled a 20... Yeah, actually, you rolled higher stealth than even her nat 20, but she was up ahead of you. So, Ashlyn, if you want to go ahead and make your... If you want to go ahead and make an attack, you're 26, where you were kind of sneaking up there. Diana probably tripped and fell somewhere with a 0. That will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage as you fire off your longbow. And as that arrow sticks into the flesh of the elk, Kallista, you feel the elk give way underneath you and slam down into the snow just offside the road. At that same moment, Diana, you feel the ground start to rumble near you.
I had a feeling.
Uh-oh.
And it starts to make a little bit of noise that sounds like this. As you feel something, and then all of a sudden, you hear... bursting up through the ground beside you is this large creature that busts out of the ground right beside you. And you hear this awful roar as it leaps out. Not only is it going through the ground, but all of a sudden you have shards of snow and mist of snow just sprout out all over top of you. You have these little crumples of earth and dirt and stone just shower you as this thing bursts up through the ground beside you. And you hear this roar that sounds like this.
Godzilla.
As you look, and you actually see... Let me see if I've got a handout for it, because I think I do. I think I've got a handout.
And you said this is happening next to Diana?
Next to Diana. Yes.
I'm dead.
Wonderful. You're in the back with Molfin, apparently. We both glow.
Let me see. Creatures and monsters. Here we go.
Let's hope Ilmater shows up again.
Maybe
Maybe Ilmater can destroy the town, the road we're on.
Yeah, here it is. Excellent. I'm going to show this to you, and this is what the creature looks like that busts out in front of. You guys may have to look at the handout on your. So it looks like this.
That's pretty horrifying.
This large centipedal thing that has these almost like these fleshy wings that stick out from the side of it as it busts out through the ground. You hear that terrible gurgling roar come from it as it has these very sharp fangs and just different tendrils and things that come off of it, and it is beaming and looking right at you. Also, you notice that the steam from the snow that's melting around it is just billowing up around it as well. And the horns on the back of it that kind of extend from the back of its body are kind of glowing this bright orange in color as it busts out of the ground. And right now, that's a good place for us to take our break for this evening.
I want to go home.
So we will take a short bathroom break and refill our drinks and get ourselves a quick snack. So those of you that are watching tonight, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Storm King's Thunder episode 24 right here at Proficiency Bonus. We're so glad that you're with us. We've got an exciting adventure going on right now, an exciting episode, some excellent role play to get us into this dramatic scene that has unfolded in front of us. So we are going to take a short 5 to 7 minute break. So if you guys will stay with us, we'll be right back. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your Dungeon Master for this evening. This is Storm King's Thunder, Episode 24. Currently, our party has found and discovered about a dozen elk kind of roaming around just south of Hundlestone. They decided to do a little hunting when they discovered that one of the elk had golden antlers. So as they started to approach stealthily, Kallista beast-shaped herself into a direwolf, charged after the golden antlered elk, dived on top, gnawing her sharp teeth into its neck, and Ashlyn, with one swift shot from her arrow, put the elk down. And just as the elk hit the ground, this creature that I'm going to put up there on the screen for you all busted out of the ground next to Diana with a terrible roar, with snow and rock kind of bursting out from the explosive, the burrowed hole, and steam just rising up from the area from all the melting snow. And what I need everybody to do is, once I get you guys over to this map, I'm hoping that you guys can see everything okay. As I bring you over to the new map, let me know if you guys can see everything okay.
Yep.
What I'd like you to do is go ahead and click on your tokens and roll me some initiative.
Oh, no.
My initiative will be +1, whatever I do, so it's a 9.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me check something real quick. Is initiative considered an ability check?
Technically, yeah, isn't it?
It's based on dex.
Yeah.
It's based on dex. I would allow it.
I think Critical Role ruled that last night
I think they did, yes.
Okay.
for disadvantage on checks when they were
So-
exhausted.
I'm gonna burn one of my portents and give myself an 18 on initiative.
Whoa.
Nice. Go ahead and click.
Gotta roll it to put
yeah,
my on. Yeah, I gotta.
yeah,
put it on
and,
anyway.
and go ahead and you're allowed to, you can edit it in the turn order, right?
That
Fail.
Oh well,
one for-
it's still pretty good, you know. It's still pretty good. It's still okay, Molfin. It'll all be okay. I promise.
Oh.
Well, I can't really
Maybe.
promise, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. I have to say I'm pretty sure. I gotta set some things up here. As we get things going here. So those of you that are tuning in tonight, we're so glad that you're joining us for Storm King's Thunder. We've been at it for a little while now. We are at episode 24 with our wonderful party. Plus Sarah tonight. We've got Sarah jumping in as Ashlyn. So we're glad to have Sarah with us.
Glad to be here.
We do miss our friend JJ,
GG.
who he's gonna
What family?
He is totally gonna get you for that.
Probably.
If he was here, he'd jump in the hole and die or something.
Yeah, you jump
No,
right in there.
It's undead purple worm Moby. That's what that is. It's undead purple worm Moby.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us all set up in our initiative order. And actually, Pushwa Puchwa is the first one to go in our initiative as this all starts to take place.
I don't know whether or not Pooch. Well, it's actually. I guess it boils on this. Molfin would just send Poochwa over to sort of fly around this thing's head
Okay.
and take the help action.
All right. So this this flying snake is just doing circles around the head of this creature as it is trying to distract it from Diana currently. And that brings us up to Molfin, who is actually second in our initiative order.
And in the words of, I ain't got a clue who, peace up.
Okay, so
Just lifting, literally casting it on myself.
You're lifting yourself up. You're not trying to lift the creature up this time. Okay, good.
Yeah, that 500
So
pounds.
Molfin,
This thing looks pretty big, so
Yeah.
Molfin is
It's
going
pretty
to lift
big.
himself and get away from it.
So Molfin,
And just-
you're rising up 20 feet.
Yep.
And just kind of hanging out. So that's your action. Anything else that you are doing during this turn?
Nope.
Nope. And that brings us up to Diana. Diana, this thing just roared, just this terrible roar right next to you. And it does not look very nice, and it just lets out another one as it's standing right next to you, getting ready to just, looks like it's going to get ready to gnaw on you.
First instinct, I command little baby griffin Salim. I'm like, go hide in the tree. And that's like a, I hope that's like a, what is it, side action, bonus action.
Sure,
Not side action,
I will
oh
I'll allow
God, no.
that. I'm gonna let you know that it's still just a few days old. It's not it's not a very old griffin. It may not really know exactly what you're trying to do.
Can it fly? though? Can I just kind of be like, go to the tree?
These haven't. I don't think they've reached maturity enough to be able to fly at this point. I
Crap.
think it takes them a
Then in
little bit
that
while.
Oh, in that case,
Grab it and protect it with your face.
in
Put it in
that
your mouth.
case, I'm going to
Feed it to the Remoraz and run. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
No,
terrible. I know, terrible.
baby. Who said that?
It was totally your dungeon master.
I thought it was chat. I was like, I'm gonna fight chat.
No, I don't think even Stumpy would be that vicious.
Yeah.
It was Das player.
It was.
No, it wasn't. No, it's just Michael trolling you.
It's me trolling.
No. Okay, so warding flare. That's like a reaction, but can I use it as like a bonus action?
Not really. It has to be in response to something else that is happening. So when it
Okay.
when it tries to bite you, then you can use that as a
Okay.
reaction to that action. Hmm.
Then in that case, I'm going to channel divinity, radiance of the dawn, and
Nice.
basically what this is I harness sunlight and it banishes darkness, but it also deals radiant damage to all enemies that are within 30 feet of me, and it's 2d10 plus my cleric level, so 5.
Excellent. 2d10 plus
and
5.
he has to roll a dexterity saving, not a dexterity, a constitution saving throw. Otherwise, if he passes, he takes half the damage, and what? It just says a constitution saving throw, so yeah.
Did you say it was Constitution save? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The
I'll
damage.
Okay. And you said this is radiant damage?
Yes.
Okay. So here comes his roll.
And
Ooh.
he has to pass a 50.
Oh, he's not going to pass. He's going to fail that. 18
Points of
points of radiant damage as all of a sudden just this burst of this radiant energy just emerges. So is it like a radius? Does it go like all around you? Is that what happens? Or is it just like a...
I imagine it as kind of like an EMP pulse, like it just kind
Yes.
of like from a
just
source.
boosh, yeah, just like jolts out, and you just, the creature just goes, ah, as it just starts to kind of emerge up a little bit, and yeah, you do all 18 points of that radiant damage as it kind of kind of just scoots back just a few steps from you as you emit this light from your. Anything else that you would like to do for your turn?
I would like to run.
Okay, if you run, it will get an opportunity attack against you as a reaction. Because you are in its threat range. Okay. So you can go ahead and run. I do want to tell you that if you run straight north on the map, this area where the snow image is right here is kind of rocky and thick snow, so that will be difficult terrain in that area.
Okay, I'm gonna run towards the tree.
Okay.
And try to throw my son into it because he's dumb and didn't understand it the first time.
Okay.
That's my bonus action, is trying to throw him in the tree.
Okay, the Rimmer is going to try to take a quick bite at you as you're trying to run, and it rolls a 22 to bite into you.
Oh my god!
And as it bites into you, you take 24 piercing damage as it grabs a hold of your shoulder, and you can feel it start to burn inside you. It also does an additional 4 points of fire damage.
What?
As you start to try to run.
That took over half of my health. I'm at like 4 points.
Okay, so go ahead and mark that on your token, as this thing just deals a vicious bite to you, Diana. You felt every bit of that. And you felt...
I have 3 hit points.
Oh, no. Oh,
Listen,
no.
you'll be fine, guys. You'll be fine. Famous last words from our DM.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Oh my god.
You'll be fine. Ashlyn. You're up.
Alright, I go. That's not nice to Diana. And I run up and take a place.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No.
Oh, Ashlyn runs up. Stands
then-
in the footprints where Diana once stood.
Yeah, then I'm gonna do 2 attacks with my quarterstaff.
Okay. 2 attacks coming with the quarterstaff. Wow.
Yes.
That first one is going to connect and smash into the... And before you take that second attack...
Uh-oh.
Before you take that second attack... As your quarterstaff slams into this creature and you're getting really close to it...
Oh, no.
You can feel the heat pulsating from this creature. And you take 4 points of fire damage from the heat of just smacking into this thing, being this close to this creature, as the glowing orange of the inside, like you can almost see this like throbbing glowing coming from inside the creature's body.
Okay, crap.
But yeah, you definitely slammed into it with your quarterstaff, and it definitely felt it.
Alright, I'm gonna just stay here, why not? And, take another hit at it with my quarterstaff.
So you take your quarterstaff with both hands and you jam the edge of it back up into the creature, trying to... Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
That's gonna hit. Go ahead and roll your damage for that as well. So an additional 10 points of damage as the quarterstaff slams into the young Rimmer. And with that hit as well, you also take 8 points of fire damage.
Okay, then I'm gonna run away.
Okay.
And be like, guys, this is really hot, you might want to stay away.
Okay. You already used your movement to get up to there.
I can move another 10 feet.
Okay.
Because I have the quick movement thing.
Gotcha. And sure, he already used his reaction to attack at Diana, so he doesn't have a reaction on this turn right now. So he already used his attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So
that's my turn.
Feeling the heat and starting to sweat a little bit, Ashlyn steps back from the creature as it kind of looks like you did a fair amount of damage to it, Ashlyn. That brings us to Sarvin. Sarvin's like, oh my goodness! And he pulls out his longbow, and he pulls back, and he fires 2 shots at the Rimmerhaz as he gets himself set up. I don't remember where this... Here we go. I think he's under this. Do I have my actual character sheet? No, there he is. Bada boom. Make sure I'm not whispering his rolls. So here comes his first longbow attack, and his second as he fires off 2 attacks.
Nice.
And both connect. First one striking for 5. Second one striking for 5, as both these arrows just sink into its skin. You can see that the arrows actually, once they hit, they catch like a little, you can see them starting to catch fire inside of its flesh. So actually, you know, Ashlyn's standing there, you can see that it's starting to look hurt. A bit hurt. Sarvin then starts to just kind of sidestep a little bit, and he comes up here, and he ends his turn there. Then it's the Rimmerhaz's turn. Let's see. Lachlan, roll a 1d3 for me.
Alrighty.
Roll it right, Lachlan.
Is this good or bad?
The Rimmerhaz, feeling those 2 jolts coming into its flesh, peers over at Sarvin and charges towards Sarvin as it kind of curls around, and you can see that this elongated body just emerges from underneath the ground, leaving this giant pit before you where it was traveling underneath the ground. He's going to go 30 feet, so he's going to go right underneath Molfin. Whoa. As all these feet are just like onto the ground as he stumps over towards Sarvin, and he's going to try to take a bite at Sarvin. I wish there was a quicker way to get to these character sheets. So he tries to bite Sarvin. And he will definitely connect. Ouch! You guys just hear the King of the Frozen Fire go, oh! As this thing just like reaches down and just bites into him.
Oh no!
And Sarvin looks like he's in pretty bad shape. You can see that his white dragonborn scales are starting to get stained with his own blood, as the Rimmerhaz reaches up his neck and starts to just let out that similar roar from before. Kallista, that brings us up to you.
Is there any way that I could use my action to try and get its attention with like a growl or a snarl or something? Bark?
Yeah, you could do an intimidation check.
Yeah, I want it to come for me, is what I'm trying to get it to do.
Okay.
Oh.
Nope. Sorry.
Yeah,
I tried.
You let out a huge roar, but now that it's got a taste of what Sarvin's blood, seems like he's pretty well invested.
Dragonborn tastes like chicken.
Anything else you'd like to do, Kallista?
Yeah, that's my action, right?
That would be your action. Do you have a bonus action that you'd like to use or anything like that?
No.
Okay. That brings us to Lachlan.
Alrighty. I want to move up a little closer between Ashlyn and Kallista here. I want to aim down my scope, try to find, the spot between his armor plates, now that I'm close enough to look at him through the scope, and fire off a shot.
Okay. That will hit.
Alright.
Definitely.
And then
hit.
if I'm close enough with the sneak, It would be that.
Nice.
Wow. Are you close enough for the sneak? I think you are, right?
Well,
I think so.
He
I'm
has
looking-
an
yeah,
ally
I'm
within
looking
5 feet of him.
Yeah, you have an ally
Yeah.
within 5 feet. Yep. So, yes, 25 points of damage as this thing pierces right underneath its jaw, right in the lower part of its neck. As you fire this dart in there, it's just like lets out this awful, it's terrible, as it kind of just kneels back.
Your Highness, are you okay?
Lachlan, I think I'm just fine.
I believe in you. That's the end of my turn.
The Rimmer has is not looking very good. As we go to Pouchois.
We're just going to keep following that same thing. Buzz back over and just start circling the face again, irritating it to take the help action.
It's almost like the Rimmer has was like scooting away so quick from Pouchois, he wasn't able to kind of keep rolling around his head, but now he's just kind of just being annoying, just doing whatever he can to just flap his wings around the Rimmer has his head. And that brings us to Molfin, who is currently hovering about 10 feet. 10 feet above him.
Oh, yeah, because he's so big.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
So, Molfin's going to look down, look at Pouchois and see what's going on, and...
Oh, no.
This must try something from up here.
Beer bomb.
Oh, there it goes. Wow. Ray of Frost. So he shoots down, Molfin shooting down this ray of cold energy coming straight down on top of the creature's head. As you lay into it, you see that as the impact is made, it shoots its gaze up towards you. Doesn't seem to be affected at all by your ray of frost. It kind of just steams off of its head as you nail it with the cold energy.
Oh, bummer.
That is most unfortunate.
That's a word.
And Molfin will spend the rest of its turn, sort of... just currently floating, and there's nothing to grab onto, so it's just sort of doing the old man
Stuck in the middle of
breaststroke in
space
air.
That is so good. So good. That brings us up to Diana, who's just perched her baby griffin in a low-hanging branch of this tree. She's not feeling very well. Her one arm is kind of just sitting to her side as this thing just latched onto her shoulder. Its blood's kind of like pouring out of the wound. Not as much as you would think because of the fire damage. Kind of almost, cauterized the wound a little bit. But you're still feeling it.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level because I'm dying.
All right.
What's
so
that?
25. Nice.
Okay, that's perfect. That's
Really?
not all of my hit points, but it's a lot of them.
Yeah, you can
And
feel
Sorry, what?
feel the power of Ilmater as he revitalizes you.
much needed. And that-
Molfin tries to start swimming the other direction and seeing the radiant. Nope. Just see the old man turn the other way.
It's like turning around.
I'm gonna move next to Ashlyn and just be ready with warding flare whenever.
Okay. Sounds good. That brings us up to Ashlyn.
I could-
Oh wait, did you
I don't know
did you have
what
one
to
more thing?
I know, I just realized that I could have done warding flare the first time that thing tried to hit me, maybe. No, I wouldn't have gotten hit. But it's fine. Moving on.
Ashlyn.
Is it too close to do longbow?
No, you can do longbow here. I believe you
Okay.
can, right? As long as you're
Yeah.
not
You should
within
always
5
back up.
Yes, I can. But then,
Yeah, your longbow is good here.
okay. So I'm gonna take 2 longbow at it.
Okay.
Longbow things.
Whoa.
I missed.
The first one is going to fly over over its head as you take your shot. I guess you're just you.
Sorry, Uncle Molfin.
just underneath Molfin as he's trying to swim through the air above it. And you can go ahead and fire your second shot.
Oh,
Ooh.
crit fail.
Ooh.
That's not good.
And that one comes dangerously close to Molfin.
Okay, that didn't work well.
Which one of us are you trying to kill?
I'm sorry, Uncle Molfin. And that'll be my turn.
It goes to Sarvin's turn, and he's like looking at the creature. He's got his longbow in his hands, but then remembered what Ashlyn had called out. You said it was hot? And he calls out to Ashlyn again.
Oh,
it was
yes, Ashlyn.
it was hot.
It was hot.
Yes, it's hot next to him. Go away from him, cause he's hot. Temperature-wise.
Okay, so he is going to disengage, and he's
Smart.
going to start running.
I agree.
And he gets to about right here and just kind of turns around and gets on one knee. There's a trail of blood leading all the way back to him from where he is. And then we go to the young Remmerhaz. Go ahead and let's have Kallista roll me a d5.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Seeing this group starting to emerge back here, and seeing that Sarvin has just ran off and is kind of almost hiding behind a rock back here, the young Remmerhaz turns and starts charging towards this group and stands right in front of Ashlyn and tries to take a bite out of Ashlyn.
Warding flare. Warding flare.
All right. Warding flare. So what does warding flare do again, Diana? It gives it disadvantage?
Warding flare interposes divine light between you and an attacking enemy. When you are attacked by a creature that you can see, you can use reaction to impose a disadvantage on the attack roll, which basically a flare of light like blinds them and they can't see and they're at disadvantage.
Okay. So here it comes. Disadvantage bite against Ashlyn.
Ooh, that does not hit. Yay.
It won't hit, and it's a good
Oh, good
thing.
thing.
Wow.
It
Oh
is
my
a
god.
good
God.
thing.
You saved my life.
You
So
did save her life.
as the Remmerhaz
Wow.
charges Ashlyn and opens its mouth, it looks like it's coming straight at her to just like basically remove her head from her body. Your warding flare just zaps right in front of its face, and you see it just like squint, and it comes back, and when it chomps down just at the ground like before Ashlyn, and it kind of picks up, and it looks like it's just been blinded for a second. It kind of bobbles to and fro as it's kind of regaining its eyesight, and looks down and just looks viciously at all of you standing in front of it. And that ends its turn. Just about at this time, Kallista, Lachlan, Molfin, you guys notice from the hole in the ground
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
emerge
No.
what seems to be hundreds of rats.
No. Hell no.
And like, I'm talking lots and lots of rats. Most of them are just running away in different directions, like not really sure where to go. They're very small. Some of them are kind of starting to group together a little bit and looking over towards you and kind of smelling blood in the air. Seem to want to get a little bit of a taste of
No.
what is around here.
Adam will handle that shit.
But like rats.
This group is going to come to Lachlan, and they have to like be on the same space. But I'm going to put them beside you just so we can see exactly where they are. And
hey, little guys.
these guys probably aren't going to actually. Yeah, they're not very smart. This one's gonna. This group is gonna go towards Kallista. So,
Even though she's a dire wolf?
yeah, they're not very smart.
Wolves look
Okay.
yummy.
Their intelligence is 2. So this one's
Almost as high as mine.
almost as high as yours. I'm gonna change the always whisper rules to never, so you guys can see that. And we got a bite on Lachlan, and a bite on
Doesn't hit.
Kallista.
I'm hit. That first one, that would definitely hit me.
All right, so Lachlan, all of a sudden these small rats just start swarming around you and start gnawing on your legs, dealing 5 piercing damage as just these little bites just start gnawing at your leg, taking little pieces of flesh and some of your armor. Kallista, you were able to just kind of like rear back, and these rats are kind of jumping at you, but none of them are able to really connect. And even the ones that are able to connect aren't able to pierce through your thick hide. And that brings us to Kallista.
I'm ignoring the rats and going to flank the thing.
Okay.
Ooh.
The rats are going to take an opportunity attack against you.
That's fine.
They're going to use their reaction to try to bite you once again.
That hits.
And they start to take a little bit out of you this time. And it does 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
As you feel all these.
And I'm gonna do an attack with advantage since it's surrounded.
It is, yep, you are flanking. That will hit. You can roll your
Oh,
damage. As the dire wolf faces off against the Remmerhaz. Bites into it, dealing 9 points of damage.
No, Cloppity, we voted against his football team, so he's a little angry. Cloppity asking if we forgot your birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, Stumpy, you just missed Kallista. Just got down a 3.5 mile deep pit.
And Kallista, you when you bite into it, the blood from the creature starts to fill your mouth, and it is almost boiling hot. And you take 8 points of fire damage as your tongue starts to get that that feeling on it whenever you drink hot chocolate too quick.
Ooh, I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too. Ugh, it's aggravating. So you take 8 points of fire damage biting into this hot flesh, or hot in, just the blood of it. For some reason, it's just very hot. Anything else you'd be doing during your turn, Kallista?
Nope.
Okay, that brings us to Lachlan.
All right. I'd like to use my gnomish speak with small beasts to tell my rats. I want to point over at the Remhoraz or whatever and say, "Yummy bug, it's delicious."
Okay.
I don't know if that uses up anything of my turn.
What is that? What is that again? What do you?
Sure, gnomes have, or at least forest gnomes have, speak with small beasts.
They do. They do. Go ahead and make
Yeah.
an animal handling check for me.
I give him a nat 20.
And you were inspired by Ashlyn standing next to you. Ashlyn, is there anything in particular you would say or do to inspire Lachlan as he's getting ready to speak with these creatures?
Bend down a little lower next time so I can see your butt.
Accurate.
My jaw gets snow on it from the floor.
You guys are awesome.
Wow, you bent over that far?
I dropped my spoon.
So these rats all of a sudden turn and start to face the Remoraz.
It worked! It worked!
As
I grab Ashlyn and shake her. It worked!
as the nat 20 has been expended from this week's session. And Lachlan, I'd still give you an action, since that was kind of like an ability that you have as a just being a gnome.
Yeah.
I'll call that your bonus.
Okay. Then for my action, I'm going to disengage, and for my movement, I just kind of want to tuck away from all this silliness. And then that's my turn.
Okay. Sounds good. And as Lachlan runs away, you see more of these rats start pouring out of the hole.
Oh. Oh.
You'll be fine, says DM.
They're just rats.
And let me move them over there to the
Oh my gosh!
area as these larger rats kind of pour out of this hole.
Okay.
This is getting scary. Gotta
And-
plug that hole.
And it looks like 2 are going to go towards Kallista here. 2 are going to move over here. 1 is going to come up here to Ashlyn. One
I
kinda
agree,
gets to
Stumpy.
here.
They're getting worried about rats for nothing.
Ashlyn, you're going to get a bite from a rat. Let's see. Ashlyn's bite from the rat. It only rolled a 7. I had it on Whisper for some reason. But Ashlyn, you're able to quickly dodge out of the way as this giant rat tries to snap its jaws at you. Kallista, you're going to get 2 bites from a giant rat. The first one will be the one on the right. And then the second one will be the one from the south. I'm going to change it to Never Whisper so you guys can see the rolls. Here comes the first, and then the second one from the south.
Nope.
Nope. So both of them try to take a little bit out of you, but you've almost completely ignoring them and headed right for the Remoraz. And that ends their turn and brings us back to Poochwa.
Okay, same issue, just taking the help action and circling around.
Just trying to circle around. Yep.
Yep, just irritating to help somebody else out.
Gotcha. So Molfin, what would you like to do?
Molfin, realizing he doesn't seem to be able to do much to that big thing, is going to do what he can to help others and start taking pot shots elsewhere.
Okay.
So first one going to the right of Kallista.
That will hit. Is that the to the right of Kallista?
Really?
So that was the first. Yeah, you hit the giant rat. Some of its fur starts to burn off. You hear a little screech. Yeah, but the rat is still standing, still alive next to Kallista's dire wolf form. Really? I like that. Anything else you'd like to do there, Molfin?
Molfin is currently 20 feet in the air.
Yes.
Molfin just sort of goes, if nothing else is working, to hell with it. As a bonus action, grabs his own throat and drops 20 feet.
Uh-oh.
Nice. So, this is a spell that you have? It's not like a potion or anything? It's
No, it's an actual bonus action spell.
bonus action spell. So
Wow.
what does that look like again when you cast it?
So it's basically Molfin's got the staff in one hand and reaches out and touches someone to imbue their with dragon's breath.
Okay.
So at this point, he's irritable. He's attacked this thing. It's not doing anything. He attacked the rats and didn't do anything. It's
What
anything he does in terms of area effect. If he puts grease, he's just looking. It's a cluster. No matter what happens.
What
He's got one idea left and grabs his throat. And
what
anyone watching
what
just
magical
sees-
energy are you putting on it?
they see the. Really, I was going to go a different way, but I will.
Well, what way were you gonna go?
I was going lightning.
Oh, that works too. Either way, man.
So as anyone who notices Molfin is, they, start to just watch the old gnome drop. We'll see flashes of what looks to be blue energy coursing through his hands as he's sort of grabbing at his throat.
Yes.
Gramps, are you okay over there?
Awesome.
It in the snow.
That brings us to Diana, standing next to
Oh.
the large creature.
And I am going to cast Inflict Wounds at 2nd level. Here's the thing. Accidentally already rolled it. It was a 21. Keep it or reroll.
I would say if it was an accident, it'd be kind of like if the die rolled off the table. Go ahead and re-roll it. You have to. That's a touch spell, right? So you have to touch it.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I think I can inflict it through a melee attack or something. Make a melee spell attack against a creature you can reach. Is that touching or?
Yeah. If you look where you rolled the first time, it says touch underneath it. So you will have to physically put your hands on it.
Okay.
You gonna touch a rat or a bug?
Oh no.
That will hit.
It's a 26
Yeah.
advantage because of
Yeah.
Poochwa.
Yeah, you have advantage because of Poochwa, so you hit. Roll your damage for this.
Okay, and it's plus 1 more d10. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can roll your
no, not
damage.
that.
I'm going to roll the damage that you take as well, because you also take 10 points of fire damage for just touching it. Because this thing is just...
Okay.
Nice.
But you deal... Wow.
All right.
So Diana,
Whoa.
go ahead and describe this for us as you take down the young Remorath.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Vengeance, okay? This thing nearly killed me. I don't know. I just want to, I don't know, like right on its like chest, and I just want to burn a hole through to like its heart or whatever, and just burn it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As you feel this hot energy like on your hands, it's kind of like you're wanting to pull back your hands because it's just burning hot, but you almost like it feels like you're just soaking the heat in from the creature, and you feel that the heat starts to just like completely drain from it, and you can feel that the life force just slowly just withers away. Its flesh starts to dry up and starts to get hard, and you can hear the creature just like as it just falls forward down into the snow and just crashes down. All the snow just starts to billow up around you guys as it slams down into the area. Poochwa kind of gets covered a little bit by this massive area that's around its neck. It's almost like he's just like completely covered down inside there, and quickly tries to slither out from underneath at the last minute. But yeah, you take down the young Remorath. So I'm going to take him off the initial order. But there are still some creatures out there that look hungry. Ashlyn, you are up.
Alright, I'm gonna 5-foot step.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take a swipe at the rats in front of me and just.
Okay. So Ashlyn with some kind of acrobatic moves as she sidesteps with her quarterstaff. Yeah, that's definitely going to hit. Yes, and with one quick swipe, it's almost kind of like you're using your quarterstaff as like a golf club. You swing it down and just clock this rat. It does kind of like 3 backflips and lands completely motionless in front of you. You can
That's pretty awesome.
You can take your other swing at the other one beside you if you'd like to.
Wow.
Yay! I
yeah.
own some rats. That's
Wow.
great.
You can roll damage, but you probably don't need to. Yeah, you, and then just coming across with another swing with both hands, you just hit this one perfectly on the side of its face, knocking it into a deeper area of snow off the side of the trail. It is completely destroyed.
And after I take, I can take an unarmed strike when I take an attack action as a monk.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the rats below me too.
All right.
Martial arts.
An unarmed strike into this swarm.
Oh, not so good. Okay.
That actually is enough to hit, Ashlyn.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you.
Wow.
Because they're just like a massive swarm of rats, like raw crawling on it, you just like elbow across down into this massive pile of rats, and you hit it, dealing 10 points of damage. You see some of the rats just go flying out of this swarm and just laying with their just their legs completely up in the air, motionless.
I don't like rats. Ew.
So yeah, there's still a mass of rats there, but it doesn't look like as many are moving around anymore. All right. Anything else, Ashlyn?
No, that's it.
Sarvin is going to use his action to just kind of sit back here and whimper. As
Truly a noble leader.
He is in a lot of pain. He kind of moves over towards the halflings, and he's pretending to be protective to them. This swarm of rats starts to just climb on top of the Remoraz and starts gnawing at some of its nasty insect-like flesh. And this swarm of rats turns and tries to start biting at Ashlyn.
No.
No. So they bite. They just can't. You're just kind of like dodging them and just moving around within your little space here, kind of like just using your acrobatic skills to get away from the attacks. That brings us to Kallista.
Right. Attacking the one below me.
Okay. That will unfortunately miss as you go to you misjudge the size of the rat as you get ready to chomp down. You get nothing but chomping of air.
Can I try to intimidate it as a bonus action or not?
You can try, sure.
Sure. See if they'll leave.
Ooh. So you roar right in its face. And we'll have to wait till its turn to see if it's affected. So that will bring us to Lachlan.
All right. I'm going to look over at Kallista, kind of surrounded by rats there. I'm going to ask her, hey, trust me! And I'm going to cast Sleep on that radius.
Okay. On what radius? Where are you centering it?
It's her.
Centering it on her. Okay.
Great.
Gotcha.
Should be fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I can't be put to sleep anyway.
17 hit points.
Yep.
So the smallest one first. Okay, so Kallista surrounded by these rats. Kallista, you notice that the one that got burnt up a little bit by Molfin falls asleep and just hits the ground. The one below you that you just missed with your bite seems to fall asleep and hit the ground, laying on its side. The swarm of rats, it seems like a couple of them in the swarm start to fall asleep as they're chewing on the Remmerhaz, but most of them are still kind of chomping away. How far is the radius?
20 feet.
20 feet. Yeah, the swarm that's around Ashlyn seem to do a little bit of the same. Like a couple of them fall asleep, but for the most part, the larger portion of the swarm are still moving and able to stay awake during the spell. So these two giant rats are snoozing.
And that's my turn.
All right. So the giant rats are either dead or asleep. Poochwa.
Putra is just going to, actually, Putra's just going to hang out.
Okay.
Putra's done what was instructed to.
Okay. So that brings us to Molfin.
How is the dire wolf looking?
A little hurt.
Maybe
Not bad, little hurt.
maybe a few bites taken out of it, but
I still have over half.
Molfin is going to use his movement to circle around a little bit. And as he's sort of walking past the hole, he's going to look over at the wolf and say, I apologize, my dear, but this might sting a little.
It runs in the family.
Ugh, goddamn gnomes.
And then lightning breath
Goddamn.
in a 15-foot...
Oh, you
15
what up?
foot, yeah. All right, you make an
It's a
attack roll. Is it
I
a
was
save?
just gonna throw them in the hole. God damn it.
it's a dex save.
Dex save. So I'll do the one for the swarm first.
Dex save.
The other two fail automatically because they're...
Yep, they will fail automatically. So yeah, that's gonna be bad.
My dex save will be +1.
Uh,
So 18.
Oh yeah, that makes it.
The swarm makes it.
No,
No,
the
the swarm
swarm doesn't.
Doesn't make it.
Kallista does.
12 points of damage. Wow. Yes.
So I take half?
Yep. Let me see. Dexterity save, taking 3d6 a failed save, or half as much unsuccessful.
Okay. So I take
so
6.
These rats get one last glimmer of what life is like as lightning energy just surrounds them, shocking what's left of their life out of them. And they are just sitting there with this little bit of smoke sizzling from them, their corpses as they lay there in front of the dire wolf.
Kallista's growling.
The swarm that Lachlan had convinced to turn its attention to the Remmerhaz are basically not a swarm anymore. There's just about 6 or 7 little rats, like just gnawing on its flesh. Yeah. And that brings us over to Diana. Molfin, your turn was done, right? Did you have anything else? Okay.
The swarm in front of Ashlyn. I'm just gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. That's a
Fire
deck.
at the...
That's a deck save, right?
Yes, and sure it'd be cool if the number showed up, but I guess it's not gonna. I'll roll the Oh dang it! How did they make the save?
They made the save. All right, yeah. So basically, the fire starts to just emerge that you're casting, and they all kind of separate for just a split second to dodge the effects of the sacred flame. You see one little rat go, and he just gets caught by the fire, just like.
Sacred Flame never, ever, ever works for me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm seeing blank.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Was that broken by the update or something?
It could have been.
Maybe.
It could have been.
Just
No, I
re-enter
mean
it.
like character. Like whenever Diana throws it at somebody, they always.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they always do.
I'm also going to move back towards the tree and coax Salim out of it and try and, get my little griffin baby back. Feed him some food.
All right.
And stuff. Good mom.
Ashlyn, that brings us to you. You still have.
Can I step on the rats? Do you mind if I step on a corpse?
Absolutely.
Just
Like that?
Just make like a regular like unarmed strike against them.
No, I mean just I wanted to move my token on top of the dead rat.
Oh yeah. Of course you can.
Okay. No, I'm gonna use my martial arts or quarterstaff or something to make sure I do that.
Okay. Yes, that will hit. And you're taking your quarterstaff, basically, Ashlyn, and you're slamming down on this group of rats, and you continue to just slam down, slam down, slam down, slam down, slam down, and eventually all of the swarm is just just a pile of dead rats.
It's like in Dishonored where you have like a dagger and you're just like trying to kill rats at a time.
That's exactly it. You're just keeping on slamming until you get them totally destroyed. If you have any movement left, you can take it, but the way I'm going to roll this is the swarm that's kind of picking at the Remmer has no interest at you guys whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to take you guys out of initiative order as this encounter is over. Congratulations, everybody. You just put down a young Remoraz.
It was my first time playing a monk, yay.
And it was a little scary at first, but everybody did fine. See?
A couple people almost died.
Yeah, thank you for that signal flare thing. Otherwise, I would have been like making death saving throws.
And also, I wanted to thank DOS Player again for all the bits. We've reached our bit goal for the evening. Thanks to DOS Player. And we appreciate all the good feedback, DOS Player. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know Keplin and Stumpy have been joining in the chat a little bit too, so it was awesome to see you guys tonight.
DOS Player also tossed out a couple of ideas I'm going to mention now.
Kallista's going to the elk.
Kallista's going right to the elk.
Yep.
Oh,
Gonna
awesome.
drop for him and try and salvage the meat and try and salvage the horn.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Did Molfin just cook that elk with his lightning breath?
No, the elk is way over here.
Yeah, the elk was way over.
Oh, wait, that's right. It was
Yeah.
down off screen from where I'm.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Is that White Wolf 2188 possibly? I'm having trouble reading that. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Appreciate the follow. Welcome to the adventure.
White Wolf 2100.
All right. Yeah, awesome. Zeros. Yeah, I got a weird font that comes up and tricks me sometimes. Awesome. So, Kallista, what I need you to do is I want you to go ahead and make an animal handling check as you're trying to
Animal
harvest.
handling?
Yeah, let's
Not
make it.
survival?
Well,
Sure. Either way. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the same
Is it
roll.
the same roll? That's what I thought it was probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and make that. And what else would the rest of you be doing?
Honestly, I would probably poke my head in the hole.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check, Ashlyn, for this.
Hey, what? Sorry.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Man, I cannot read that. The font is messed up. Looks like KHA something. But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the follow.
I'm going to bludgeon your name, but Calphaniacal?
All right.
Calphaniacal. Something like that. I apologize if I'm bludgeoning it.
Yeah, we ruin people's names all the time on this channel. I'm sorry, guys.
We try.
We absolutely love you. Jump in chat, hang out with us. Sometimes we're just terrible with names. I'm even terrible with my NPC names, so it's all good. We're gonna go with it.
What kind of roll was I making, Michael?
Investigation check for Ash.
Oh, yeah, I'm really good at this.
Yes, you are, because you're going to roll a 17. Oh.
Ooh!
Oh, look at that.
If I let
Multi-
you first.
Ashlyn, as you look down into the hole, you can see that it goes to the... it basically travels back towards Hundlestone.
Ooh, this goes really far, guys.
And it does. It seems to go into this distance far, farther than you can see, especially in the dark, because it's just a hole that's just dug. And it kind of goes down for a little bit, and then just you can see that it veers off in that direction. And you also see that there's still some more rats down there. They kind of see you and then make a couple squeaky noises, and then turn around and run back into the hole.
That's good. That's good.
Do you think it was hunting us all the way?
That's what I was thinking. That's scary.
Really unsettling.
Kallista, you were able to harvest a lot of this elk. Maybe not as much meat as you would have liked, but you definitely get the antlers with no problem. And,
How much meat, roughly?
how much meat did you get from the
Two.
store?
Oh, I bought 4, but I have 2 because I gave 2 to Diana.
That's a good question. How much does an elk weigh?
Okay, DOS
Like,
player, we're counting on you. How much?
Yeah, a chat. If you could jump in for us, we need to see how much meat.
Is it
is
male or
If it's a
female?
male, it's 320 or 330 kilograms.
I don't do kilograms. I do
What's a
pounds.
kilogram?
What's that?
I'm
We need
American.
real.
Pounds?
I do pounds.
We need real math.
So it would be 300 pounds.
I need it measured in burgers.
300 pounds.
How many
Or
pounders?
actually, no. If it's a bull elk, it's 700
quarter
pounds.
pounders.
Wait, what'd you
700 pounds
700 pounds. My goodness.
for
Can
a full bulk.
We'll say, you got to think about how much you're carrying as well. So
It's like
Of
Oregon
course.
Trail.
Yeah.
You can only bring back,
Yeah.
so
I don't want the whole thing, but I want enough that I could, like, save some for Cleo.
Calfani,
Yes,
Calfani
Diana
says
can
900
confirm.
pounds.
Oh, and Michael, we got clarification. It's Kafani, the L is silent.
Oh, Kafani. Kafani, actually.
And yes,
yeah.
DOS player, Moby is currently on sabbatical. He is in a place with no access to D&D
he's been taken away by
That must be.
by somebody's deity we won't mention.
Yeah.
So, if we're saying somewhere up to 700 pounds, but you can't harvest all that meat. That wouldn't be all
No.
meat. So,
Yeah.
And with the 11 roll, I'd say maybe you could probably up to 50 pounds, but I don't know if you'd be able to carry that
We have a
much.
bag of holding.
So you could put the 50 pounds in the bag of holding. You could.
Yeah, I think I want to do that. Same with the antlers. Put everything in the bag of
Okay.
I
holding.
hold it open.
Lachlan holding it open as Kallista's just dumping this raw meat into the bag of holding.
Is that sanitary?
I mean, I could cook it if you want me to, but either way.
I agree, Kepler. It should be made into jerky.
Yeah, Kepler wants some jerky made.
Molfin is just going to stand right next to that little horde of rats that Lachlan has got going down on the Remoraz. And just as often as he can, just keep spewing lightning out at it.
At the Remoraz or at the rats that are like gnawing on
At
it?
the rats that are gnawing on it.
So
Why?
Molfin
We're
is just,
doing
and as Lachlan is dumping this meat into Kallista's in the bag of holding, it's kind of like in the background you just see Molfin just walking around the dead corpse, the Remoraz, just, and then every now and then you see a flash of lightning. It's just like zaps, and he walks over, zaps.
Only for about a minute, though. Then it runs out.
50 pounds of meat. Oh,
yeah, you have no problem.
Callista will cook it later tonight.
Some of the rats like start to get the point, Molfin, and start to scurry back to the hole.
Molfin will chase him back to the hole.
Ashlyn, as you're looking down there, all of a sudden you stand up, and Molfin puts his head down in there, and you just see light start to shine into the as he's just firing lightning down into this hole from his mouth.
I'm gonna bring
Why are you so
Cleo.
angry?
I'm gonna bring Cleo over to the what's left of the elk, assuming there's still meat on it, and let her just have at it.
Oh yeah, Cleo would probably eat the stuff that you wouldn't eat. So that creature starts to the stuff that's probably not good meat. Still, the griffin would enjoy some of those scraps. Cool. Diana, what would you be doing during this?
Hi. Diana is going to kind of center herself between everybody, between I'm tired. Between Sarvin and the party, and cast Prayer of Healing, and I can choose up to 6 people. So who wants to get healed?
I'm fine. I don't need it.
How close do you have to be?
I'm fine.
Well, I choose Sarvin, I choose myself, anyone who's missing hit points.
I'm mildly missing hit points if there's room.
Yeah,
So-
I've got some.
30 feet. Sarvin starts running towards you. He's like, oh, me, please! as he runs.
And I heal.
The king of the frozen far needs healing. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Diana, the cleric, can you help me? So you do 19 hit points?
Nice.
That's
Wow.
nice.
Your Majesty, I'm glad you're okay.
Oh, that Remoraz was brutal. Oh,
You fought nobly.
I did, didn't I?
Yes, you were perfect, B.
I stood my ground when I needed to the most.
Yes, you did. Good job.
Really, it looked like you were running.
Kallista.
Did you see those 2 excellent shots that I took with my trusty longbow?
Impressive.
Those were awesome. So awesome.
Oh, I saw you take some shots with your longbow as well, Ashlyn.
Yeah, I almost hit on Uncle Molfin. I'm sorry, Uncle Molfin.
Just be more careful. Next time you're shooting at someone, make sure I'm the opposite direction.
You were flying.
Hot calling the kettle black, Molfin.
What are you referring to? I did not shoot at anyone.
You fried me with lightning.
I fried some rats and a wolf.
Yeah, who attacks their friends?
Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, Molfin.
Poor Molfin.
At this point, Molfin just has a little sort of twinkle in his eye and a half grin. But
You live in a glass house, Uncle Molfin?
no, and nor was I.
All the time.
That's weird.
I swear.
Yeah,
Ashlyn, I swear, some of these people are very, very odd.
Is it sunny in your house all the time? Because of the glass?
Molfin just sort of looks around and
Shall we go?
realizing there is absolutely nowhere for him to hide at the moment.
Is it like a greenhouse, Uncle Molfin?
Disappears in a black orb.
God damn it.
Molfin
Can
just
I-
disappears in his black orb of darkness.
I'm getting the horses ready.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Can I do Channel Divinity twice in a day?
I think after a short rest, right?
Okay.
Is
Well,
that
then
what-
I
is that
won't
what
do
the
that.
ruling is?
'Cause that's- Instead, I will cast Light on Molfin's Darkness.
Uncle Molfin, I see you. Why are you over there?
Dark vision can't see it. Non-magical light can illuminate it. So it doesn't say anything about magical light being able to illuminate it. Let's see.
Oh.
You've actually got,
If
you've actually
any of
got
the spell's areas overlap with an area of light created by a spell second level, the spell that created the light is dispelled.
Oh yeah, because that's a cantrip, so that's not strong enough to break through his light or break
What
through his
level
darkness.
is what level is it?
You'd have to go 3rd level or higher to be able to break the darkness spell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well I can throw a fireball at you. Does that,
The darkness may just disappear whenever he goes unconscious. If you do that.
I can cast daylight, but I'm not gonna. Okay.
Does he do that a lot, you guys? Like, just go, like...
First time I've seen it.
Highly unusual.
Given it's a 15-foot radius,
Yeah, you guys see this giant like ball of darkness. It's like he didn't like poof out of the air. It's kind of like just all of a sudden this orb just appears out of nowhere of darkness from center of him 15 feet out all around him.
can I find my way out of here without falling in the hole?
Go ahead and roll a let's make this a survival check.
Oh my god.
Callista's just glaring at the party and the darkness, like, can we go a bit farther from here and set up camp somewhere else?
Agreed.
I like this role.
Nope.
Sarvin looks at you and says, I am totally up for that. Let's get out of here.
Okay, let's go.
Molfin, make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh my god. Can I cast daylight?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Some of the ground breaks away from the edge of the hole as your foot kind of steps dangerously close. It breaks away a little bit, but you're able to catch yourself and move yourself out of the darkness, standing next to Lachlan and Diana.
I grab him. Gramps, be careful.
Oh, that was a little too close to that precipice for my liking. But we prepare to depart.
Are you done fooling around?
I suppose.
Okay, let's go.
Well, Sarvin looks at all of you. Well, I must propose.
To whom?
He is proposing to Kallista. We should stay uninvolved.
Okay. This is so exciting.
Sarvin just kind of is looking around like, I didn't finish what I was saying. I must.
Okay.
I must state that the road is getting even more dangerous. I can feel it. If we head more to the southwest towards Fireshear, where I was born and raised, we might be able to seek refuge there.
Fireshear, huh? And I look at Lachlan.
Yes, Fireshear.
Hey, great place, I've heard. You know?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This wouldn't be
we all wanna go
this wouldn't be about the griffins, would it, Sarvin?
The griffins. Oh, yes, the griffins.
There are griffins?
Yeah, I forgot they were even here. Well, yeah, that brings me to my point. I know I have a friend in Fireshear who trains griffins and also trains people to ride them.
Don't make me take your health points back.
I'm inciting him for ulterior motives when he says, I forgot they were here.
No, he didn't really forget they were here. You can see through that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I want to know if he has ulterior motives for wanting us to go there.
You don't think that he has ulterior motives. He actually thinks he's being helpful to you.
Okay. Accurate.
He knows more about the person who trains these and you guys don't really have much experience with them anyway. So he's just trying to be helpful.
It's okay. I forget things all the time, too.
How far is it, Sarvin? How far? Which way?
Well, we've got about a little over a day's journey to the point where the road starts to break off, but it'd be about, I don't know, maybe 3 more days to the southwest to Fireshear. It's right off of the coast.
Any objections?
No.
No.
It's not quite Everland in the transportation system we spoke of, Kallista, but I can see no problem with delaying a
How
day.
far is Everland from Fireshear? Sarvin, do you know?
Everland. I've heard of Everland, but it is far to the east. It's quite a journey to Everland.
I suppose we can go there first and go to Everland after.
Yeah, do it for the griffins.
I'm glaring at Lachlan.
I back away.
Do it for the griffins. That's a hashtag right there.
Diana?
That look on Kallista's face is absolutely shocking.
The glare shifts immediately to Molfin. You gnomes are walking a fine line.
That's a slow clap right there. That's a slow clap.
Yeah.
That's a
Diana, how do you feel about this?
I don't know. I mean, I want. Well, See, I want my child to have the best education that I can offer him as a mother, and that's very important. But
I agree.
I don't know. I don't want to just drop him off at
We're not. We're not.
see him.
We'll go there,
Okay.
learn what we can, and just be a little bit extra on guard. And I'm looking at Lachlan.
On guard from what?
Just a hunch.
I don't know how. I don't know how long we're gonna be there, though. I mean, how long is this training program? Like, what, a year?
No, we
You can leave
don't have to stay. No.
Oh, from what I heard, my friend can train people to ride in about 3 days.
Okay,
That's
these
not
are
bad.
infants.
Well, I mean,
They just-
she would obviously train you on full-grown griffins, not these ones.
Okay.
Prepping us,
Okay.
so to speak.
Well, then I think we should go. For our children.
Besides, then, and he points over to the Remoraz corpse laying on the ground. It would get us away from things like that.
Very true, very true. I would like to leave that.
All right. So
I won't let anything happen to them, Diana.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Me too.
Okay, then no, this is a moment. Thank
Oh,
you.
sorry.
I'm so kidding. It's not even a moment. It's
Thank you, Kallista. That means a lot. Moment over.
Das
Me
player,
too.
we are using a program called Roll20. If you go to roll20.net, you can sign up for free. And basically, it is a module that is used for basically tabletop role-playing digitally on computers across all wavelengths. We've got, in our party right now, we've got people from all over the world playing with our group, so it's really cool. Our player that we're missing, JJ, is from Australia, so we have an Australian in our group from the opposite side of the world. So, yeah, it's really awesome. You can sign up for free. You can pay for additional features. Most of the time, it's better
DM
for
stuff,
the DM stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like setting up the dynamic lighting and what people can see and things like that. So yeah, you should definitely check it out and see if maybe you can find a group and jump on in and get yourself playing some D&D. Or I think Roll20 has all kinds of different role-playing
All the games, yeah.
Yeah, so you could pretty much find a group playing just about anything. So, so awesome. So you guys are kind of anything else you guys would be doing before you're headed?
What time of day is it? Just so I know
It's-
how long we...
It's really still just before lunch.
Okay. Then yeah, we can keep going. And then I'd say when we take our rest for the night, Kallista would cook some of the meat.
All right, yeah, you guys, the rest of the
Dry it out.
travel takes you about, I'm going to take you guys back over to the map so you guys can see where you're at. As we move over, wait a second, that's not correct. Let me move you over here. That's it. Ta-da.
Ta-da!
It brings us back here. And I'm going to reveal a little bit more of this area here so you guys can see a little bit more.
Ooh.
Awesome.
You guys make it to just before this other trail starts to break off.
Mm.
And you reach a nice spot. You've been basically traveling down mountainside paths all day. You're coming out of the mountains a little bit. You find a good place that you can camp, Kallista, and you're able to build a nice fire and get some of that meat kind of cooking for the rest of the group.
And kind of like use my hand, like my burning fire hands, and make it extra dry.
Extra dry, excellent. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got some. You kind of cook almost like all different kinds of elk meats.
Yeah.
You get some that are like, like the medium rare style. You got some that are so dry it's almost like jerky, the crunchy type jerky. So I think it was Kloppity or Keplin online. If you wanted that jerky, just imagine the best elk jerky made from our
And
finest.
I have 50 pounds to work with.
Our finest drow half elf druid Kallista on stream. So Just imagine that. And you guys are all Molfin. I think you might be muted. I think you were saying something, but I couldn't hear you.
Old man moment.
It's-
Just picture the finest Canadian elk.
Yes. Go
I know
Canada.
I know Canadians gotta eat their elk.
Hey, Kaplan's Canadian too, so.
Heyo.
That's the
Yeah.
joke.
Oh.
Canada's not a real country. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
The fantasy land.
So you guys are able to enjoy this meal as a group, and night is upon you, and I would like each of you to determine who's taking watches this evening.
I'll take first watch since I'm up cooking.
Okay.
Molfin will offer to take second.
I'll take a watch.
Okay. Ashlyn's gonna take third.
I'll take a watch.
Okay. So who was first again?
Me.
Okay, go ahead and if you guys will go ahead and
I did.
roll a perception check for me.
I'm gonna burn my DM's inspiration for this week, and
All right.
almost over might as well.
There you go.
You
Yeah,
rest.
yep, we're getting down there. Might as well burn it up.
Dang good I did.
All right. So, Kallista, as you are taking first watch, you see that. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Bandits come and kill us all.
Let's hope he didn't roll on that it happens on your watch.
The Remor has his parents come.
Oh.
My
They
mother
kidnapped
appeared
babies.
out of the wilderness.
Kallista, as your watch is taking place, Sarvin is awake and kind of hanging out with you. You see that he has
Good.
another small piece of wood that he's whittling. He's like, I'm very impressed with you. You just seem to have no fear whatsoever. You would make a great captain for a great army that a king could build. He's just like kind of continuing to carve and whittle, sitting by the fire.
Fear does nothing for survival.
I see. Continues to carve, and he's like, So, how long have you been wandering?
With them?
In general.
A couple years.
Just always seems to me that you are seeking but never finding. What is it? What is it, Kallista? What is it that you were looking for?
If I knew, I still wouldn't be wandering.
He kind of ponders it a second. Good point. I can relate.
Oh?
And just kind of continues to look down and carve. You see him. He looks at the wood carving kind of oddly as he's going through, and I can't seem to get this one part. And he puts a finger over one of his nostrils, and he blows out of the other nostril, and it's like this puff of cold that just frigidly freezes part of the wood as he does it. And he's like, oh, there, and knocks it off. Ah, that was it.
Well,
Continue.
Sarvin, you said you're from Fireshire?
Oh, I was born in Fireshire. Yes.
Then you have family there?
Well, I did have family there. See, I'm not on very good terms with my family at this point.
Oil thing.
Relatable.
Yeah,
Relatable.
it seems that when one rises to such status as a king, things can get rather, I don't know, conflicting with the relatives.
Yeah, nobles are assholes.
I think I'm always looking over my shoulder, thinking that they're after my throne, you know? Because all this is, it's mine.
You gotta be careful with that mindset, Sauron.
Why is that?
No good ever comes from it.
Have you had experience with that mindset before, Kallista?
All my freaking life.
Oh. So, what land are you ruler of?
Oh, I'm no ruler. I'll never be a ruler.
Oh. Don't
And
say
she kind of
that.
just like pulls her like cloak up to reveal her purple skin.
Mm.
Can't be a ruler looking like this.
Would you look at me? And he points at his face. At least you're not covered in scales. White ones, of that matter.
Well, I guess I could see how that would be a problem.
Amongst the other Dragonborn, I stick out like a sore thumb. But
Well, that's why you should take your status and do something good with it.
Yeah.
Prove them wrong.
Haven't you heard my stories? Haven't you heard what good I have done? About the time...
Stories only go so far, Sarvin.
But they're true. Every last one of them.
Just be careful.
He kind of just nods as he looks at you, kind of like that. You guys are almost coming to a realization point as you guys are having a healthy conversation for once. It doesn't feel as rigid to him as it has in the past.
Chris is in a better mood because she hunted an elk for her baby.
And he continues carving as your watch comes to an end. You can go ahead and wake up. I guess it was it Lachlan? No,
Molfin, I think.
Molfin was second watch.
Yeah.
So,
I'll wake them up.
So Molfin.
There's some jerky there if you want some. I made extra.
Thank you, my dear.
Molfin, as you get out to the fire, you realize that Sarvin ate all the extra jerky.
I tried.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, and he opens his mouth. He takes a little bit. Wait, did you?
No.
Oh,
No, I am just not awake yet.
Does Kallista see this? Because I don't think I've fallen asleep yet.
no, you're kind of catching it as you're kind of getting ready to fall asleep. Yeah, you threw up a little in your mouth. I can. Well, it would be a shame for it to go to waste, and he just puts it back in his mouth and starts.
Molfin, there's some more in the bag of holding.
Bag of holding. Yes, I believe Lachlan has that.
No, I have it because I've been like taking it out and cooking it, and
Given Molfin will take that as just an invitation, he'll just walk straight into Kallista's tent and start rummaging through looking for the bag.
Okay. Molfin, you're able to scrounge up some things to go head out by the fire to cook and eat and things of that nature. As you're watching Sarvin kind of carve, he looks at you and he's kind of almost awkwardly silent at first for the first 10 to 15 minutes you guys are sitting out there. It's odd to you because he is usually talking your ear off the minute you sit down.
Kallista got to him.
Then he looks at you and he's like, well, I think they may be asleep. I wanted to talk to you, Molfin. You see, when we get to Fireshear, people don't necessarily like me that much there. They don't desire me to be dead or anything. They just like it better when I'm gone.
Aww.
Molfin will sort of half glance at Kallista's tent. I get that feeling myself every once in a while.
All the shade today.
There are points, I swear, when she looks at me, I can almost see the hackles standing up as if she was still in that wolf form.
Yeah, that wolf form is quite terrifying, I must say myself. Almost up there with the Remmer has.
Almost.
Stumpy says, "Rick."
But
So much
I wanted you to be aware of the situation. Just because I tend to get nervous when we get around the Fire Shear. But I know it's for the good of the Griffins and for the good of the party to be able to meet Durashra and see what she does.
Well, do you feel you will be in danger there? You say that you do not enjoy your presence. Are you worried about your safety?
Well, I've never been worried about my life, per se, but I'm worried about being locked up in some places. Someone's closet, a barrel. I get really nervous around fires here. I'm just not very popular. When you become king, everything changes, you see.
This is true, but one would think that your subjects, while they may not like you around, would have at least some modicum of respect for you.
Well, I would hope, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to work out that way. You see, they don't believe that I'm their king.
So, who do they feel is their rightful ruler?
Well, they have a few.
Well, if they do not believe they are your king, perhaps, in the interest of making your time there simpler, would it not be best to go under the radar, so to speak, and either state that you have quote-unquote come to your senses and are no longer claiming dominion over their homestead, or basically bundle you up in any manner of cloth wraps and whatnot, and have you just come in as a mute member of our traveling band.
You want me to give up part of my land?
No, by no means am I saying give it up, good. I'm saying let them think you have. If they don't believe you're their king anyway, letting them continue to believe that, if that does not diminish your own power any.
Make a persuasion check, Molfin.
Literally my weakest. Literally.
He kind of ponders for a second. He's like, I don't think that will work.
I am just a librarian. I do not understand these things.
Yeah, it gets a little rough. But I feel that, you see, Durashra, she doesn't exactly live. She lives kind of on the outskirts of town. I may be able to avoid some of the conflict.
Perhaps I tend to involve him whenever things are more socially required, but perhaps Lachlan, or even if you're comfortable with it, as strange as she may be at points, perhaps Diana would be one to speak with. She's a little scary at points and can be a little destructive, but she has a way with the common folk.
Lachlan did tell me that she punched a man in Bryn Shander for just asking about the griffin that she carried. I was afraid for the safety of my nose.
Well,
See
again,
this?
you are not asking for that. You are asking her for the best way to speak with the common rank and file. It seems to be she has a way with these people.
Fair enough. Lachlan seems to be pretty good at this himself. I mean, he is Lachlan the legendary, and he convinced
quite the mouth on.
Diana and Kallista to come to Fire Shearer in the first place, I believe.
It seems he did start the road there, but it was your quick speaking at the end that got it. But I will agree, Lachlan does have quite the legendary something to him.
So how does it feel to be related to such an individual? To be a member of the
obviously-
family of the legendary?
Well, he obviously gets it from... Who am I kidding? My wife's side. It had nothing to do with me. There's no point in even pretending that one.
Oh, so you have a family? Your own very large? Is it a very large family?
I don't quite know if you could say I have a family, so to speak. It's they're there, but I spent my time in the library. I saw them occasionally here and there, but actually, this is the most time I've spent with any of my family in a good number of years.
It's tough being different, isn't it? And he kind of lowers his head and he keeps carving his little trinket that he's working on next to the fire.
It can be difficult when you do not have someone who understands your line of thought.
That is a good point.
As it seems you have this difficulty with the people in this village we are approaching. We have that problem in our own little traveling... well, whatever we're calling this. As we all seem to have gotten on this caravan for one reason or another, and I don't think any of us know where it will actually end. At this point, we're dealing with baby griffins and strange multi-legged creatures, and apparently we're meant to do something to deal with giants, and now the hand goes into his chest where Molfin is currently keeping that little emblem inside his robes.
Mm-hmm.
And other, I suppose I say other entanglements, and now we are heading somewhere to aid our two compatriots with their young, as Diana would say, children.
Well, I think it will be worth your while. I think it'll be worth the whole group's while. I think Durashra will be able to help.
I hope she is for them. It's my goal, as was brought up earlier, is far to the east.
And he kind of just nods his head and continues to kind of whittle as your watch comes to an end. And I think it was Ashlyn who was taking the third watch. And you're just trance. So you've been trancing that whole time. So you'll be able to stay up during the fourth watch if you'd like to, I believe.
Sure.
So you, Molfin awakens Ashlyn.
Oh, Liddy Crackshot, it's time to wake up.
Oh, yeah, I'm still sorry about that, Uncle Molfin. But, I would like to visit your greenhouse sometime.
As soon as I have one built, I would certainly invite you and your family over.
Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go sit with the lizard man.
All right, you plop down, and Sarvin's kind of sitting there. He's working on this carving. Oh, Ashlyn! It was a mighty scary ordeal we had to deal with earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was terrifying. I'm glad you got out okay. You looked kind of scared for a little while, but that's okay.
Oh, me, the king of the frozen forest, scared? Ugh.
You must have been protecting the halflings then.
I did. That was what I saw was the most important at the time. I was afraid that Remoraz was going to see those little halflings over there and think...
That's what I thought you were doing. Okay.
Yes.
Everyone else said that you were a coward and running away, but I knew what you were doing.
Everyone else said that?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yes, a little.
That's a funny joke.
Yes, that's what I said too. Ha ha.
So, Ashlyn, you've traveled all this way seeking Diana? What?
She's my bestie. I love her. Ha ha.
Well, that's very noble and brave of you.
Thank you. It's very noble and brave of you to be the king of everything. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, all this is mine. All of it. Up there to that tallest mountain peak right there. Did I tell you about the time I climbed the tallest peak in the spine of the world?
You did. It was awesome, and then you told me again. It was better the first time.
Oh, well, yeah, it always is better the first time, I guess. And he just kind of just has this back and forth conversation with you for most of the watch, kind of carving things. And who was taking fourth? I think it was Diana or Lachlan. Which one? Diana was taking fourth. So Diana, you actually. I couldn't hear you, Diana. I'm sorry.
Was Diana.
Twas Diana. So Ashlyn, you wake Diana, and you can stay up with her for the final watch. Is there anything that you guys would want to talk about with the rest of the party being asleep? And Sarvin has actually drifted off, and he's like tilted over on this kind of like a longer log that he's just like laying on, sleeping next to the fire as he's drifted off.
I think his sleep cycle is finally balancing out, sleeping in the nighttime.
That'd be nice. Otherwise, he just talks all night, and it's really annoying.
Oh, I don't know about annoying. He's just, I don't know, a character.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah. Oh. I'm like not paying attention to the world around me at all. I'm just focused entirely on talking to Ashlyn.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys are just engaging the conversation. Diana's just focusing on you. Ashlyn is... she rolled a nice 1 for her perception roll for the evening. And you guys spend some time chatting. Is there anything in specific that you guys wanted to chat about?
I mean... the mother's letter. Ashlyn, have you been to our village, our clan, tribe, place recently?
No, your mother came and sought me out at the monastery.
She went all that way?
Yeah, all by herself, too. She looked kind of sad.
I'm sure she did. Well, thank you, Ashlyn, for the letter.
No problem. It's good to be together again, isn't it?
It really is. It's nice to have a little bit of home.
And at that point, we'll go ahead and call our episode 24 for the night, as we end with a good pan out of Ashlyn and Diana smiling together by the fire, reminiscing a little bit about childhood memories.
Just a couple of gaps.
Good game.
Very good, everybody. That was awesome. Well done. Well done.
We survived.
You survived. Nobody died. A couple people got
It
close.
got close.
A couple people got close.
It was close.
But it was all good. See, I told you it was going to be all good. To all of our viewers tonight, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had a big number of people kind of just stopping by to watch for a little bit.
Yeah.
All of our new followers tonight, thank you guys so much for following. It was awesome to have you as part of our adventure. Those of you that were jumping in chat to communicate with us a little bit and chime in, we love our chat. We love it when you guys participate. So if you're interested in catching episode 25, we'll be here next week, same time, same place, 8 o'clock Eastern for Storm King's Thunder. And we also have a stream that happens on Monday nights with Matthew as the Dungeon Master. He runs Tomb of Annihilation for a wonderful group. Sarah, who plays Ashlyn here, plays, is it Solana?
Solana.
Yeah, Solana in the Monday night campaign. So if you guys have your Monday nights, you guys have your Monday nights free and you'd like to tune in, that's also at 8 p.m. Eastern here on the Proficiency Bonus channel. Christy, who plays Kallista, is also in another stream of Insight Check. So you should go check out Insight Check. And I believe that's, did we say that was 2:30 Eastern time on Mondays? 1:30.
1:30 Eastern time on Mondays on Twitch, Insight Check.
On Twitch, on Insight Check. So go ahead over to them and give them a follow as well and check them out. One thing that we traditionally do at the end of each episode is we award one of our players a natural 20 to carry into the next episode. What I am going to do is, Ashlyn, you did a terrific job tonight, but I know that Ashlyn is going to be missing from our group next week as she will be out of town next weekend. So unfortunately, we won't have Sarah with us next week. So between the other 4 members of our party, does anybody have anything that stood out tonight that they would like to award any of our players? Players included, players and chat. Is there anybody out there, good role play or something that stood out?
Deity of charity and goodness.
Yeah, the deity of charity and goodness. That's what I wrote down.
And she stopped like 58 points of damage with her.
Yeah,
thing.
she totally saved my life, so that was pretty awesome too.
That was battle strategy MVP.
Stumpy is chiming in with Molfin's connection with that guy. I'm assuming it was. I'm assuming
probably talking about
Sarvin.
And talking about Kallista.
Rude.
That was pretty good. That was really good. So chat is chiming in a little bit for us. I mean, when Diana said that, charity and goodness about the deity, I'm glad I wasn't like in the middle of drinking something, because it would have gone all over my webcam and computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys and say that. Oh wait, here we go. I love the overall play. Molfin was my standout for the RP. Molfin, you guys got to go back and watch like episodes 1 and 2.
Oh.
Molfin set the tone for his character right off the bat. I'm going to share a lot of clips this week. Those will be on Twitter, by the way. If you guys follow us on Twitter, I'm going to throw those out there as well.
If you check out, we also have a Facebook page. I'm going to start pulling those links from Michael and putting them up on there too.
Excellent. Perfect. Yes, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, Molfin's on Twitter.
Yeah, Molfin himself.
Yes, he is.
Molfin Green
He
East
uses
is
the magic
on
post
Twitter.
on
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys can check that out on Twitter as well.
Oh my god, if Ashlyn got a Twitter, it would be so inane.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something I'd never done before. I'm gonna give 2 nat 20s. I'm gonna give one to Diana and one to Molfin for next week.
Yeah! Good job, guys.
Lachlan and Kallista, you guys both are awarded DM's inspiration that you will be able to use for next session as well. So you guys can, make sure you use those your sessions. I know some people don't quite use them every time. Lachlan, so make sure you guys use those.
Daps is asking us to drop the Twitters too.
Yeah, if you guys want to drop your Twitters in chat, I know Matthew's and mine are actually underneath the Twitch chat right now. So if you are underneath the screen, so if you guys scroll down a little bit, I know Matthew and I's are up there. I'm trying to get everybody's on there, but I want to make sure that everybody from the Monday night group can kick in and give me a Twitter as well if they haven't made one. So I'm going to try to get everybody a Twitter account. So yeah, you guys can check us out there, and we'll have Diana and Molfin with our nat 20s for next week. Sarah, we will miss you next week.
Oh.
Yeah, that we
Definitely
will.
miss you. Well, I know they'll all try to do a good job of keeping Ashlyn safe in your absence.
No, none of that creepy finger thing. No.
So, just want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. This is Storm King's Thunder, episode 24. But this will be up on YouTube probably within the next day or so. So all of you watching on YouTube, catching us later, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't followed us already, make sure you hit that follow button or subscribe if you wish to support the channel. We absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Does anybody else have any more announcements that we need to throw out there before we go offline?
Nope. That's it.
That's it. Matthew, nothing from you? All good?
Yeah, all good. We mentioned Monday. Oh, if you do tune in Monday, you'll actually get to use an herbalism kit.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Using an
Herbalism kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Using that herbalism kit.
I've yet to use that damn kit.
Well, thank you guys so much one more time for tuning in. Until next time, no matter what challenges you face this week, no matter how tough the obstacles, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, love you.
Bye, everyone.